私が愛を語るならその目にはどうぞる心は愛が丸がかり無垢の目が流れてくあなたが愛が見えるまでその色を幻が一人で幸せになれればせいぜい共通の愛をこのふざけた素晴らしき世界君に会うために生きる今宵は夜が来るまで咲かそうぐるぐる目を回してこのクソだれる美しい世界まっすぐに決く進め乙女や踊りなをになりましょうみんな叫
That song is good. Freaking one thing I always forget to do before, like after playing a good old Witch's Heart or any game where Jeanette is here in person. Freaking I always have the headphones up to 100% and then I put them on and then my ears get shattered. But no. Now everything is, where's the thing? Where's the thing? There's the thing, but time to get back to Cemetery Mary. Ooh. Unless, wait. Teehee. Cemeteries. Ooh. And I'm very excited to get back into this. And also, I forget that the loading screen also doesn't have any. Wait, no, load. Oh, there. Whoa! I thought freaking almost started from the beginning. Gonna take a sip of water. I don't remember exactly if there's gonna be stealing or not, but I feel like there might be some stealing. Anyways, the sun seemed to illuminate the front of the building, perfectly as we drove up. Cypress Side. I've heard of this place before. I've seen job ads for it. They were looking for nurses and other stuff. Twilight told the driver to return in about 2 hours or so before stepping out of the car. I followed her. The air smelled fresh and clean as we headed towards the welcoming front door. It must have been all the flowers planted outside. As we stepped through the entranceway, my senses were bombarded with an extremely sanitized smell. The lights felt bright, and I noticed that no windows had their curtains drawn. It felt extremely clean and open in here. And there was the faint sound of what I can only describe as old people music, playing in the other room. Surprisingly, there was no one at the front counter. Twyla seemed to notice this as well. Oh my god, I forgot how loud. I don't know how loud that is on your guys' end, but frickin' blasted my headphones. Oh good. No one to interrogate us about why we're here. This already became 10 times easier. I should always start reading after it's done because it feels so loud and sometimes I don't know if it's exactly being louder than my voice, but I also need time to process the words. I shouldn't start reading as soon as the first word appears because then I don't even know what I'm saying sometimes. In fact, this is a good place to start. How do you mean? What else would I mean, Mary? I'm going to look through the computer. Oh, Twyla, please don't. Mary, please. Don't make a bigger deal of this than it is. I'm not stealing anything, and it's for a greater good, alright? Stop making me go over this. Oof. Alright, but only because it's for a greater good. Good. Now while I get started, go out there and distract them. But how? I don't know, it's your job. Ask nurses where things are and pretend you're entertainment. Even fake a medical emergency, I don't care. Just make sure no one comes over here. And if you spot anyone if you spot anyone coming over here, stop them. Or alert me so I can get out. How should I alert you? I don't know, shout something like, "Look, a deer!" and point at the nearest window. I'll know what it means when I hear it. Alright, that makes sense. Good. Now get out there. Get on out there, I mean. We don't want to waste any time. Right. Distractions. As instructed, I walked further into what appeared to be a common room. There were some elderly people there, as well as around 3 or 4 nurses to watch them. I collected a few odd glances as I entered. But it was important that I not look suspicious. Though when it comes to me, I just tried to smile and look inviting. But being a distraction proved more difficult than I thought it would be. Oof. Talking to people didn't seem like the right way to go about it. I don't even know what I would have said. I really like the music in this game. That's very loud in my ears. I don't want to say the wrong thing and come off as even more suspicious, though I'm sure I look nervous enough as it is. I kept looking over to Twyla. She was already steady at work, it seemed. I wonder what she was even looking for. She clearly knew what she was doing, but maybe she thought I wouldn't understand it or something. Or maybe she was scared I wouldn't agree to doing this if I knew. Well, I tried to appear distracting and kept a lookout. I also tried to look through some drawers or bookshelves when people's eyes weren't on me. It felt dirty and wrong, even if this was a common area. I just didn't like snooping and all. But it's not like it mattered. I guess because I didn't find anything important. But at one point I noticed? A nurse heading to the front desk. I was about to shout our whole dear plan, but it's a good thing I turned to check before I yelled, because when I looked back over there, Twyla was gone. That's strange. Where'd she go? Did she just get up and head somewhere else without telling me? She wouldn't leave the building, right? Or did she already get caught because I wasn't checking enough? Oof. Anxiety. Oof. Well, either way, there was no use to me being in the common room anymore. I made my way out and went to go look for her. Of course, if she was snooping around, I couldn't just out and call her name. Ugh. So I tried to be as quiet as I looked and made sure to keep a lookout for anything strange as I did. And I did actually happen across something strange. There's a trail of something on the floor. Juice? Grape juice? Or is this one of those worlds where there's purple blood? I noticed as I looked down. It was like a stain spreading across the floor. It wasn't red, so I don't think it was blood or anything. If I bent down really close, it even vaguely smelled of fruit, if that made sense. Grape juice! It was something familiar, and yet it seemed unfamiliar too. I couldn't exactly pin what it was. Something about it just felt off. Like, this isn't the type of stain you're supposed to find here. All I knew is what it looked like, and that it formed a trail. Naturally, I started to follow it, but I didn't get very far. Excuse me, miss. Before I heard a woman's voice speaking to me harshly. Whoa! I looked up to see a nurse in front of me. She did not look happy. Oh, hello there. What are you doing? Huh? What do you mean? Are you looking for something? Well, not particularly. I mean, I noticed you in the common room earlier, and now you're looking through the halls. What is it you're here for? Because it doesn't seem like you came here to visit someone. Oh, no. I did, I was surprised they weren't in the common room, so I went to look for their room. But, I couldn't remember the number. Really now? Who is it that you came to visit then? Oh, my grandpa! I'm here to visit my grandfather. You can't mistake him, he looks a lot like me. We both got red hair, and, glasses. I mean, I don't have glasses, but he does. And, he's pretty old, and, What's his name? His name? Oh, shoot. What am I supposed to say? If I say the wrong thing, I'm doomed. I felt absolutely cornered now. It was then that I noticed. I'm gonna save just in case. Oh, quick save. Whoa. Twyla! She was all the way at the end of the hall, right past the nurse in front of me. She seemed to have spotted me as I was looking for her. It looked as if she was crossing into some other room, but I guess she noticed it looked like I was in trouble. Should I call her over? Maybe she can help me. She looked through the computer. After all, she could give the nurse the name she's looking for. But what should I do? I don't think we should call her over. Because what if she's still snooping and just didn't tell us? Another time I'll call her over, but for this time, I'll handle this myself. We'll see. Mary can do it. I decided I couldn't call Twyla over. She might be onto something, or trying to remain hidden. I'd mess everything up if I made her presence known. I tried to signal with my eyes to Twyla. I even nodded my head a bit to show she should leave, that I was okay on my own. But, oh my gosh, why does my mind keep seeing different words? She seemed to have gotten the message and hurried out of there. And now, of course, I was stuck here. What are you doing? Oh, sorry. I've got this twitching issue. It runs in the family. Oh, wait. You're Rife Words kid, right? Stutters. I like reading, but I stutter too much and think too much ahead. You're Rife Words kid. Ed Rifeworth? Yeah, that's my granddad. Yeah, he mentioned something about his grandchild coming to visit soon. Though I'll warn you, his opinion of you isn't very high. Oh? I'll take you to his room. Follow me. We're gonna meet an old man. I was able to get off easier than I thought. I followed her to this stranger's room. She dropped me off, then left on her way. Well, I guess I'm stuck here. If she sees me looking through the halls again, no doubt she'd be suspicious. I should stay here for a while. I'm sure Twyla will message me if she needs me, or if it's time to go anyways. I pulled out a stool and sat across from the old man in front of me. I guess I ought to introduce myself. Oh, hey! Hello, sir. Hello, Mr. Ed? Huh? Who's there? Well, Mr. Ed, it's very nice to meet you. I hope this isn't too awkward. Eh? Sorry, let me turn my hearing aid up. Blind as a bat and already losing my hearing, too. Alright now, come again. Who is this? I ain't had a visitor in forever. Interesting choices. Oh, we don't know each other. I don't feel like I should lie to you. You don't seem that bad, but... No? I mean, I'm sorry I didn't really recognize you from anywhere. And I'm sure you don't recognize me. Unless you also like cemeteries. Can't say I do. But with eyes like mine, can't say I recognize anyone anymore. Oh ho ho. I'm Mary. I don't think you heard me say it earlier, but it's very nice to meet you. Ed, and a pleasure to meet you too. I'm sorry. I don't really know what to talk about. Well, for starters, why don't you tell me why you're here? Seems a little suspicious to get a sudden visitor I don't know. I don't know if I should. Why's that? You're not up to anything bad, are you? Oh no, not at all. In fact, I'm here for a good reason. And with a friend, too. Well, she's not with me now, but she saw me getting into trouble with a nurse, but I made sure she didn't get in trouble as well. Though I guess I was kind of able to get myself out of trouble, too, so it's okay. Pah, nurses are a bunch of hard asses. Oh my. What? It's true. Acting like they got a baby us all the time. Let me tell you, just because I'm wearing diapers doesn't mean I'm a baby. I see. Are they really so annoying? Oh, do you know it? Don't get me wrong here, there's a few sweethearts, but wowee! Some of these folks need to take a... what's it called? Chill pill? Yeah, one of those. I'm sure they just want to make sure you're okay. Yeah, I get it. I'm sure it ain't an easy job. But it's a bit hard to be around them acting so strictly all the time, even when you don't need them to be. How do you mean? Well, they ain't always the nicest company, that's all. Do you not enjoy their company? Well, it isn't. Well, it isn't awful, but I'd much rather hang around friends and family and people of the like. Well, why can't you? They're dead. Oof. Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. Are you okay? Heh, happens to all of us. None of my friends seem to have lasted as long as I did. And your family? Well, they ain't dead. Most of them ain't. But they might as well be. Why do you say that? Hell, they never came to visit me. Only showed up to visit at my old home when my wife died. None of them wanted to take care of me because who would, right? Stuck me in here fastest chance they got. Sorry. That's a tad rude of me. I shouldn't be talking like that. Some of them actually called to say they'd visit soon. So, I'm sorry. That's really sad. Ah, phooey, don't you worry about that. I guess it's just expected when you're old. People see you less and less the older you get. I know this is sudden, but you mentioned your wife died? May I ask you something about your wife? If that's all right. Please? Sure. How feels too personal. We'll start slow. When is also important to know, I think. How? Would it be a case of no one knows as well? But when would also be more like, oh yeah, when the killings started and all that. When did she die? 'Twas a while ago. Can't say I remember exactly when. Hard to keep track of time at all nowadays. Ah, right. Well, how did she pass peacefully at least? I'm sorry, was that too brash? I hope it was peaceful. She deserved only the best. The sweetheart she was. I hope. If they're not visiting me, they better be visiting her. Huh? Who? Your wife? Who else? Being in my state, I can't visit her. So these children of mine better be paying their respects. And giving her the company I can't. Actually, this may sound very strange, but I think I've met her before. I live very close to a cemetery, and I like to make sure every person has at least a flower. Your last name? It seems familiar to me. I think I've met her before. So I hope I can reassure you that she hasn't been forgotten. Is that so? You really do that? For someone you don't even know? Well, yeah. I leave. I leave. End stream. I believe that people always deserve respect, even after passing. And if you feel she's not getting enough, well, I'm more than happy when I'm able to provide. And I can visit you too. Like here. You said your family doesn't visit you enough, right? Well, I'm sure I can make time to visit you here. And maybe I'll be able to take you to visit your wife too. I'm sorry, I just got a bit weird there, didn't I? I'd like that. You would? Really? I'm so glad then. Before I could say much else, the nurse popped in to check on us. Yo-ho! Hello, hello! How's everything going in here? Everyone doing okay? Oh yes, thank you. Glad to hear it. Well, I've come to bring your special lunch, Ed. Lunchtime already. I see, thank you. Delicious. The nurse pulled out one of those small folding tables and placed down a tray of food for Ed. Ed sipped a spoonful of soup and coughed. I immediately began to worry that he was choking, but then... happening? Ed? Oh dear. Oh my. Don't worry, this will be fine. I'll need to call for some help, that's all. Was he poisoned? I saw the nurse reach over and pull out what looked like a walkie-talkie. She scrambled to get it working as she voiced that there was an emergency. Before I knew it, nurses started to flood the room as I was pushed out by them. I tried to look over to see what was happening, but it was no use. There was too many of them, and I was also too short to see past. I felt a tight feeling in my throat as I nervously fiddled my hands together. I don't know what happened. I tried to listen in, but with all of these nurses talking and panicking at once, it was hard. I think I heard something about an ambulance, but I couldn't be sure. I wasn't sure what to do next, but then... Oh, hey, Twyla! Twyla! There you are!
Hey, what's going on in there?
The man! The guy!
Huh? Use your words, Mary.
The guy in there! He started choking and now a bunch of nurses are in there trying to fix it. I think I heard one of them call for an ambulance.
Really? That's a lucky break for us, then.
Uh-huh?
Well, if they're all in there, we can snoop even further without getting caught.
What? Twyla! He's having an emergency!
Yeah, and? What if it's the work of the butcher? Think about it. Maybe this is because the butcher really did decide to strike here today. Maybe they're still around. And maybe we can catch them or find something they left behind.
Twyla, please.
Come on, who knows how much time we have? We may let this opportunity go to waste, but I won't. If you're not going to look with me, then wait outside until I'm done. I'm looking whether you like it or not.
Twyla, no! I had no choice. If I was going to give me a choice, I had to follow Twyla. I didn't want her doing something even worse. Luckily, most of the doors she tried to get in were locked anyways. But then she tried getting into the kitchen. Before she could step inside, I reached out and tried to pull her back. She was insistent on getting in. Twyla, stop it!
Let go, Mary. I need to look. I saw something in here earlier, but I couldn't get a close enough look until now. So get off before you really get on my nerves. You said you wouldn't be like this.
Twyla, this is going way too far. It's not like we're real police or detectives or something. We're trespassers, Twy. I don't know how long everyone will be gone for. If someone comes back and sees us in here, we can get in some big trouble. Is there a window? We can jump out the window if that's the case. But escape. For a split moment in my mind, though, I thought, what if Twyla poisoned someone so they could have like more access to rooms? But I don't think that might be the case. Though whoever was in the kitchen or cooking probably most likely was the one. I think the old man was poisoned. That's what I'm thinking. Because that seems very obvious. Or someone sprinkled some glass, which is also terrifying to think about. Damn. That was such a like sweet mood. And I was like, oh, this is so sweet. Oh, this is so nice. And now he's probably gonna die. I hope not. Okay. But I say we should explore the kitchen if that's an option. If someone comes back and oh wait, I read that. Blah, blah, blah. Please. It's not worth it.
You're right. Fine then. Let's go.
Oh man. I let go of Twyla, and we started back down the hall. Though from the corner of my eyes, I could swear I saw her rush in really quick. When I turned around, she was right behind me. So I want to believe she didn't do anything underhanded. Twyla took out her phone and made sure her chauffeur was on his way. I hadn't even realized it had already gotten near the time we planned to leave. He stepped out of the building and into the soft sunshine. It felt so strange to have everything seem so peaceful out here, as compared to the chaos going on inside. Worry still swelled in my chest, but I assured myself they had everything under control as we sat on the curb and waited for our ride. We didn't say much. I was fine with that. Before I knew it, our ride showed up and we crawled into the back seat. Ooh. As we drove off, I noticed the ambulance. Sirens blaring. Pull into the front of the home. I'm gonna reread that. As we drove off, I noticed the ambulance. Sirens blaring pull into the front of the house. My heart sank once again. During the ride, I looked over to Twyla. She seemed to be texting like crazy on her phone. She seemed frustrated. That was probably my fault, I figured. So I tried to make sure I was still on her good side. I wonder if, I don't know, texting on her phone. Small inferences, because small things cross my mind. And, like, what if she's also getting, like, text messages from, like, that mysterious, like, number? But who knows? Who knows? Who knows? I might be able to finish one route today if things go okay. But who knows? Twyla? Are you mad at me? I'm sorry. I don't think I'm as cut out for this as you'd like me to be.
It's fine. I'm not upset.
You're sure?
Yes. I collected a lot of information from there. I'll have a lot to go over when I analyze my findings later.
Oh, I'm glad then. The rest of the ride was mostly quiet until she asked where I wanted to be dropped off. As my go-to, I told her to let me off at the cemetery. She called me a weirdo, but dropped me off there anyways. The rest of my day was pretty uneventful after that. But I'm really, truly thankful for that. I don't know what I would have done had something else awful happened. I went home to my usual time and carried on as normal. I'm gonna frick it. Oh my gosh, it's like, I like winter, but I also like hate winter because like, I feel so dry. And it's like just constantly putting on lotion. Not constantly, like just putting on chapstick. And then sometimes lotion because I always forget lotion. But I always feel so dry and like my lips feel blah 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 blah. So like I'm stuttering more than I'd like to because like sometimes my lips hurt. But. And got a little sore. That is healing. Hot salt water method is working. I should drink some of my tea. Love the winter because I love the cold, but hate the winter because I hate the cold. Where were we today? You're not already here, are you? Why do you think that I am? Because something bad happened today. Oh? And what was that? I don't know if I should tell you. Then how would I know what you are talking about? There was an emergency today. I went somewhere today. And while I was there, someone started having a medical emergency. They called an ambulance. And I was told I should leave. I see. I'm sorry you had to go through that. But by any means, I hope you may feel better than what happens soon. Try not to think about it too much. And get a good night's sleep. I always try to. Good night, Mary. I'm gonna check something quick. Cool. Had been a few days since I last talked to Twyla. Well, I mean, I had been talking to her, but she isn't the easiest to hold conversation with. Unless she wants to talk about the butcher, there's really nothing we have to talk about. And things regarding it have been pretty quiet lately. Well, on my end at least. I don't know what Twyla's doing or if she's found anything. I feel like she doesn't really trust me. But, well, that's fair. We don't really know each other too well. Maybe she'll start to trust me the more we work together. That's how friendship works, right? Anyways, I'm spending today at home like I've been. Going out is nice, but I need a little break every once in a while too. Not Crovin, though. Apparently, he always leaves the house, even if it's not a nice day. He stays out all day too, so it can get pretty lonely when he's not around. But it's not so bad. I've been able to keep myself pretty entertained. Ooh, reading a book by the fire. Sitting near a nice fire feels nice, unless it's windy and it's kind of blowing in your direction. Then it's kind of scary. I started reading the book that old bookstore owner had given me. When I saw the title, How to Talk to Ghosts, I figured it was, well, figurative. I thought it'd be some spooky story with a clever title. To my surprise, it was written as more of an instructional guide. It's a very interesting read. And I'm curious as to how they got all this information anyways. Are we gonna talk to ghosts? And then find out the killer and then boom! Sip, sip, sip. As previously mentioned, ghosts exist on a different plane of existence. That much is obvious. Yet they can communicate with us, despite their being's existence on a separate layer from ours. We see time and time again their attempts to reach us. Perhaps it is because they are angry. Perhaps it is because they are lonely. Does each ghost exist on their own? Or do spirits share a realm with one another, expanding and everlasting? Is there a heaven? Is there a hell? Is there only purgatory, stretching for miles beyond what we can comprehend? These are questions I cannot yet answer. For if I could, I wouldn't be here writing this right now, would I? But there is a question I have been able to answer. Since ghosts can make contact with us, I often wondered, could we contact them? Sure, you've heard of psychics and mediums and whatnot, but that is only half of what I'm talking about. Being born with an innate ability is a factor, of course, but I wanted to delve deeper than that. Frickin'. Gotta learn how to read with frickin' commas. Being born with the innate ability is a factor, of course, but I want to delve deeper than that. Despite where they may exist, I need to remember to start reading after the beeps. Despite where they may exist, they can clearly affect things in our realm. They can reach us, and like one-way glass, I know they can see us. But what if we could see them? Is it not enough to hear them? I wanted to see them, to travel where they were. My words feel more stuttery today. I hate that. Let's say la vie. I believe that when you die, perhaps your soul can become unrestricted. But what if we could accomplish the opposite? What if a living being had the ability to unrestrict itself before death? Oh! My phone is ringing. Hello? Hi. Oh, hi, Twyla. Did you need something? No. Well, kind of. Remember how we went to the Cypress side of the other day? Yeah, of course. Why? Do you happen to remember the name of the guy you talked to? You mean Ed? Yes, but his last name also. Riford? Thank you. I was sure I had it right, but I just wanted some confirmation. Oh, okay. Is there, anything else you need from me? Or him? I mean, you did call instead of text, so... that was just to ensure I got an immediate response. Oh, well, okay. If you need any more, info on him, I am going to visit him this weekend, so... In the cemetery? No, oh no. In the retirement home. Mary, you know he died, right? Oh. Huh? I mean, I figured you kept on top of all that stuff. You didn't know? He died that day we went. I guess that emergency he had was serious after all. It also means the butcher could have been there when we were. That's why I was looking more into it just now. I hope you... Man, I hope you weren't too attached. I'll talk to you later. I was heartbroken. The butcher could have been there? Was it because of us? Because we were there investigating them? Were they on our trail? Did Ed die because we... Aw. I had trouble sleeping that night. And I made sure to stop by the cemetery every day, finding out as much information as I could. If he really did die because I wasn't going to miss his funeral. Man. Normally when I put flowers on graves, especially new ones I haven't seen before, I bring flowers I grew myself. Buying them can get expensive, and it feels more genuine to grow my own. But I had just been growing a new patch. I didn't have any new flowers I could bring. So I took all the little buds I could gather and wrapped them up and invited myself in. Wouldn't you know? His funeral was the same day I was planning on visiting him. Yeah. Isn't it funny how life works out? Aww. Aww. They all do have red hair. I don't normally cry at funerals. I mean, at least the ones where I don't know the person very well. But I had to cry now. I had no choice but to cry. All I could think about was him sitting there in his room. Talking about how lonely he was. How no one ever came to visit him. Well, they came to visit now. He wasn't alone now. Right? I didn't talk to any of his family. They didn't talk to me. And I was fine with that. I didn't want to explain my reason for being here. The overwhelming sense of guilt was enough to weigh on my shoulders. I didn't want to have to explain it to them too. I normally don't like to outlast family members at their own family's funeral. But I couldn't help it this time. I had to stay. I hear my dog. I had to stay as long as I could to somehow possibly make up for what I may have caused. Family members dwindled, and eventually they all left. I'm sure they were confused that I didn't. But I didn't want to move from this spot, even if you tried to drag me. Aww. Okay, like that. Man, that got me a little. Fears. Oh, Ed. I'm so sorry. You didn't deserve this. I'm so sorry. This might be my fault. Maybe she was right. Maybe if I had helped her more, or we had worked quicker, maybe. Your family came to visit, you know? Just like you wanted them to. They all seem to miss you a lot. So I hope you know they were thinking of you. And your wife. You're right next to her, you know? I had been leaving her flowers for so long. And I hope you know that. I was taking care of her this whole time. So I'm sure she wasn't lonely. And maybe you won't be either. Now that you're beside her. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say other than I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I must have been really exhausted. The guilt I was feeling and how much I cried. I don't even remember falling asleep. I had just been leaning against his gravestone crying. And the next thing I knew, I was waking up on the ground of an unfamiliar place. Is this a dream? It looks very green. Very nice. I picked myself up off the ground and looked around. Everything seemed strange. There was a faint green glow all around. The air felt foggy and moist. In front of me was a home. A house. A house, a home, the same difference. That looked similar to the cabin, but... this wasn't the cabin, was it? I had no clue where I was. I really like the music in this game, too. What do I do? Let's feel. The grass felt like sulfite. The grass felt like the grass felt like a soft carpet. The rocks and wood of the house felt artificial. Almost plastic-like. Oh, let's save, actually. Whoa. I felt. Look around. I looked all around me. Except for the house, I could see nothing in the distance. There was no other buildings. There was no trees either. Or people. It was almost uncomfortable how empty it felt. Take a whiff. Inhale that air. I took a big whiff to smell my surroundings. There was the faint smell of lilies coming from all directions, though I didn't see any. Listen? Silence. Okay, let's knock on the door. Well, I suppose there's not much else I can do. I climbed up the porch and walked up to the door. Standing in front of it, I politely knocked. I politely knocked, waiting to see if there was someone inside. I didn't hear anything, so I knocked again a little louder this time. I heard something coming. Then the door creaked, and hopefully it's nothing scary. But just in case, I will put up the warnings again. Oh wait. And the handle slowly turned. And what answered was... Oh, it's the guy! I also... Yep, that's there. Hehe. Ed? Well, hey there. Ed, is that really you? I don't know who else it would be. I'm so glad. Aw. I gave Ed a big hug as he invited me inside. I was so pleasantly surprised. He led me into the kitchen area and offered me refreshments. I politely declined as I pulled up a stool to talk to him. Because the Ed I know is... I'm very happy to see you, you know. But how is this possible? Huh? How do you mean? Well, you died. Died? Oh yes, I suppose that did happen. I nearly forgot, haha. Actually, that's curious then. 'Cause how did you get here if I'm dead? I don't know. I just woke up here. Alright then. I hope you enjoy your stay. If you're here long enough, my wife should be back any minute. You could say hi. Your wife? She's here too? I'm so glad you could see her again. Me too. Funny thing is, I'm pretty sure she knows you too. She does? Had I ever met her before then? Not sure. Aww. But she says a red-haired girl brings her flowers a lot. And you're the only red-haired girl I know that's not in the family. Really? That's... Hey, while I'm here, can I ask you something? If that's okay. I don't see why not. How exactly did you die? Well, beats me. 1 second I was eating lunch with you there, and then I started coughing. Things were pretty dark for a while. And before I knew it, I was here. Sitting in a cozy chair and feeling right as a peach. Really? Just like that? Was it painful? Maybe a little, but not for too long. I just remember my lunch tasting a little different. Maybe it was spoiled. And then I just couldn't breathe. Probably started choking from eating too fast. Yeah, it was probably poisoned. It was definitely poisoned. Number 1 theory right there. Okay, wait. I'm trying to remember other ways. So far, most deaths from the butcher aren't really... The details aren't really known. Just blood. Trying to think of more things. Yeah. Not too much known about the victims and how they died. So who knows if there's actually a pattern? Me, who's not good at coming up with theories, trying to think of theories. But it's fun to think and speculate. Also, my memory sucks, so I can't always remember things exactly as I wish I could. But would choking cause him to cough up blood like that? I see. And that's all you remember? Can't say there was much else. Thank you. Even a little information helps a lot. Helps in what? Oh, don't worry about it. Besides, I don't think you really have much to worry about if you're here. Well, I suppose that's true. Sure you don't want anything while you're here, then? Would this be like the rule with like the whole Fae, where like, oh, if you eat food there, you're trapped? But like with Ghost? If so, then I don't think she should eat anything, just in case. We just stocked the fridge up, so go on, help yourself. Oh, well, if you insist, I suppose. Thank you very much, then. We're gonna eat! Eating ghost food does sound pretty fun, but also, I'd be very weary. I got up from the stool and walked towards the fridge. That's kind of weird, isn't it? I didn't think dead people would need to eat. Freaking eating is fun, especially if you're eating good food. Or is all the food dead? I opened the fridge and looked inside. It was stocked like a regular fridge would be. Oh my gosh, I'm tumbling! Though I can't say I recognized any of the brands here. All ghosted brands. But I don't think that belongs in a fridge. Because that's... Reginald? Wait, he's here? Mary? Well, yeah, I thought he was in the... I jumped to my feet as I heard my name called. The sound of Reginald's voice had jolted me awake. So was that just... I don't think it was just a dream. Better not be frickin' Ghost. I want to see Ghost. I want Ghost to exist. Frickin' talk to Ghost. Oh, thank goodness you're okay. I saw you lying on the ground and was worried something had happened to you. I don't think a cemetery is a very good place to take a nap, you know. A nap? Then... was that all a dream? But Ed, and the way he spoke... I couldn't have made all of that up, could I? My voice cracked. Reginald? What are you doing here? Ah, that's right. I never told you, did I? Whoa. I'm a coffin maker, you see. And well, I've actually got business with someone who works here. Oh, you make coffins? That's actually pretty... Before I knew it, someone from behind me harshly gripped my shoulder. Oh, why, if it isn't Twyla. Hello, Reginald. Huh? Oh, hi, Twy. You're kind of hurting me. What's going on here? Oh, you're friends with Mary, too? How lovely. No, Twy, dear. I haven't seen you in the library in quite some time. Did you stop working there? You should have told me. I look for you when I go in, you know. I was worried something terrible might have happened to you.
Uh-huh. Well, it was nice seeing you, Reginald. But Mary and I have to get going.
We do? Oh, is that so?
Yes, we're already off schedule, so it's best we leave immediately.
We are? All right. Perhaps I'll see you later then.
Maybe. Goodbye.
Oof. Twyla practically dragged me out of the cemetery. I felt really bad since I wasn't able to say goodbye to Reginald first. Once we were out past the gate... Oh, I thought it across the face. Twyla gave me a smack on the back of my head. Ow! Why'd you do that?
What were you doing with him back there?
Huh? What do you mean?
Didn't I tell you he was suspicious before? I didn't get to read! Twyla! He's higher on my sus list. He's higher on my suspect list than ever now.
Really?
Yes. I'm almost confident he's up to something, even if not the murders. You'd be smart to avoid him.
Right.
Well, let's get going then.
Huh? We're doing something after all?
Well, I was just going to do it myself. But since you're here, I might as well take you along too. Let's go. I'll tell you what I know along the way.
Hey, where are we going?
Hardware store.
Hardware store?
Yeah. You see, back when we looked in the kitchen of the retirement home, I saw something. And I'm pretty sure it was.
Hey, was it antifreeze?
Huh? How'd you know that?
Well, back when we were in the retirement home, I saw the trail of something I wasn't sure of. And it was like a trail of Why'd you hit her? Come on! Twyla hit me over the head again. Ow! Please stop doing that!
Idiot, why didn't you tell me?
I didn't have the chance. And well, something else confirmed it for me too.
Yeah? What's that?
Well, back in the cemetery, I think I spoke to Ed's ghost. The man who died? I wonder if, like, going through the other routes, are we also gonna, like, just witness someone else dying that might not be Ed? And, like, also realize, oh, but, whoa, we can talk to ghosts. Or would it just be Twyla's route? Because I'm trying to... Talking to ghosts seems pretty significant if I don't say so myself. But, like, who knows? Trying to think. I can't wait to get to the other ones just to see how they go. Frickin'. I hope I get a good ending first, but who knows? I'm trying to play it curiously instead of playing people pleaser, because that's what I normally do. But frickin', since I am, like I said, gonna play through all the routes, figure out everything. I'm gonna play curiously for every single character's route as best as I can, unless I feel too rude. But yeah, I do wonder though how, like, if, like, talking to ghosts is, like, something that'll be consistent in all routes, how she learns this. Maybe with Crovin it's like talking to his parents. I don't know how Reginald, he makes coffins, so I don't know. I think I spoke to Ed's ghost, the man who died.
Oh, please don't try to bring a bunch of supernatural shit into this.
I'm serious. I was in the house. His house.
You broke in? No, it was like a ghost house. I don't know how to describe it. And he offered me food, but when I looked into his fridge, there was a gallon of antifreeze in there. At least that's what it looked like from the way it was labeled. Right. I promise I'm not making it up. Sure, whatever. By any means, you know what we're looking for. Back when we were in the retirement home, I saw a nearly empty gallon of something magenta-like, with the majority of its labels scratched off.
Wait, okay, now I'm thinking again about the trail. And it smelled fruity. I think she said it smelled fruity. So my first thought was freaking grape juice or something, but like... What does antifreeze smell like? Does it have a scent? Does it smell fruity? Quickly looks things up. It tastes like... Oh, it does have... It's clues you have an antifreeze leak. A sweet aroma that you notice from outside the vehicle, coming from the vehicle after you've driven it. You might be able to smell it from behind the wheel as well. Did it say fruity or was I making that up? But either way. I didn't know it smelled sweet. Well, now you know. So if you drive a car or something, or if you're gonna be poisoned, if it smells fruity or sweet or something, then, yeah. Unless you're drinking like a fruit soup. Or a delicious chai tea latte.
Yeah.
You look like an owl. I think she is supposed to look like an owl. Because also like how her sweater is, it's like... Kind of looks like how like cartoon owls are drawn. And I want to say her name also alludes to owls, but like... Twyla doesn't really look like an... It makes me think of owls for some reason, but I don't know what about it makes me think of owls. Twyla. Is it because somehow I see an owl? What, the majority? Okay, yeah, I read that.
I took a sample of it.
Oh no, I know how to say this word, but now I don't.
Analysis showed that it was some type of antifreeze.
You took a sample?
Went back to the kitchen? Oh, don't try to start an argument. I did what I had to do, and it helped us, didn't it? Because now we know it was some type of antifreeze. Some type. It's close enough.
So it's a new brand of antifreeze that smells fruity.
Must be some new brand or some bullshit. I don't know. That's not the important part. When I looked further into it, I discovered that whatever brand that was, it was completely different than the kind used by the retirement home and their vehicles. That means someone else had to bring in that antifreeze. Which most likely means it was brought in for the express purpose of hurting somebody.
I was thinking, and now I forgot what I was thinking. Oh, wait. I wonder how old these characters are, because it doesn't seem like they go to school, so they're probably not... Probably out of it, because it doesn't... I don't think there's any indication that it was, like summer or anything.
But yeah. I want to go around to hardware stores and auto shops and ask the workers there what they know about antifreeze. And this kind specifically.
What if they're making their own so it smells nice and fruity? I don't know why that's the one thing I'm fixating on, just that it smells fruity. I think!
If we're really lucky, maybe we can even find out who's been purchasing it.
You think that'll work?
What if whoever was using it ordered it online? I doubt it. Because if the butcher really is using antifreeze, then they're probably out buying it and paying it with cash. It's much easier to track a digital footprint, even if it wasn't. It wouldn't look good when the authorities finally realized the murder weapon and discovered you've been having it shipped to your house for the past few weeks. And even if not, it's at least worth looking into what kind it is. I never thought of it like that. We're almost there. I'll start talking to employees and see if they can provide me with information. You go and look at all the antifreeze and see if you can find any that looks like this. Antifreeze. Twyla showed me a ripped part of the label as well as a liquid sample in a small jar. The liquid looks similar to the kind that stained the floor, except it looked much more magenta here. The label was black with magenta-ish purple stripe on it. It looked like there was a part of a letter on it, but it was too cut off. It was too cut off to know which letter it could have been. It felt weird. What was this label made of? It just felt like old paper. I wish we could see it. Unless... When we got inside the local hardware store, Twyla practically pushed me to the outdoor section. She went off to go find someone to talk to. I guess it was my job to look for any potential candidates. Ooh. Where should I look? Ooh. I don't think this will really matter. But... let's go middle. There's some snow stuff here. Shovels, gloves, antifreeze. Though none of it looks like the bottle I'm looking for. There's a lot of blue and green, and even some pink, but I always thought... Okay, now thinking about antifreeze. Antifreeze was just blue, because I think I've seen that stuff before. But yeah. Nothing with this purpley magenta color. It has to be here. There's definitely something going on with that antifreeze. Somewhere has to have it. Or at least some worker who knows what we're talking about. But even if we find it, does that really mean we can find who's buying it? Check the bottom. Nothing down here but bags of soil and fertilizer. It smells bad. Top shelf. Oh. Yeah, I had a feeling, considering we couldn't see on the screen. They're too high for me to see, unfortunately. One of those roller surfings was in the aisle, though. Thought about climbing it, but I was worried I might get in trouble. I guess I'll wait for an employee to come by and help me. I looked very hard, but I didn't find anything. Twyla and I tried out a few different stores, but no one seemed to have what we were looking for. So what if they made it on their own? How would you make... I don't know. Because that seems like an even better way to not get caught. Making it yourself. But I don't know how hard it would be to make antifreeze. Twyla and I tried out a few different stores, but no one seemed to have what we were looking for. Anything that was purple wasn't antifreeze. And anything that was antifreeze wasn't purple. Even when we asked the employees, they didn't seem to know what we were talking about. Even showing them the label, they would say they'd never seen antifreeze or coolant packaging like that in their lives. Our efforts seemed fruitless. But that antifreeze was a fruity smell. So eventually we just gave up. At least for the day, that is. Oh, Twyla didn't even offer me a ride home or anything. She seemed really fed up. I guess I could see why. Have that dream and like look at the container of antifreeze and then maybe you'll know. Oh wait, but no, it's different brands too, never mind. I just ended up heading back home after that. We had spent a while together and it wasn't as if I could do much more today. The day was pretty exhausting anyways. So I went home to do the usual evening things. And night proceeded as normal.
Take a sip.
Can I ask you a strange question? Are you there?
Okay. Now I'm thinking. Okay. I was gonna say this earlier, but then I forgot, and now I'm remembering it now, and I feel like if I wait for another moment to say it, I'll forget it. But I do wonder, like, okay, I think Crovin's obviously supposed to kind of, like, somehow look like a crow. The only thing that makes me think crow is, like, black hair. And I guess if I see him again, I think his hair kind of looks like the two hairs he has sticking out kind of look like a beak in a way. But I wonder if, like, Mary and Reginald are also, like, supposed to look like any type of bird. I can't think of anything for Mary. It just looks like she has little horns, and that's very cute. But,
Are you there? Where are you?
I'm here. What was your question? Have you been to the hardware store? Both of these are good. I hope the background music can be heard. I did put it down a little, but maybe I'll rise it a little. Mostly because, like, Witch's Heart, I forget how loud Witch's Heart can be. And so then it's like, oh, damn, I gotta have this low, low, low. But then everything else that I usually play is, like, very quiet. And sometimes I'm, not all the time, but sometimes I can be loud. A lot of times I DB, but... Both questions I want to ask. I'll go with... but what if... Do you believe in ghosts? Do you?
I'd like to.
Then I do too.
That's not... You can't just believe in them if I do.
Why can't I? I trust your judgment. So if there's something you believe in, then I believe in them too.
I guess I can't stop you.
Good night, Mary. There's a part of me that thinks it might be Reginald on the phone, but, like, I'm also not very certain. Because he does give me suspicious vibes, but at the same time, he really doesn't. Like, I feel like maybe it's, like, he's supposed to feel suspicious, but then he's actually not. But, like, yeah, we'll see, we'll see.
It's been a few days since then. More than a few. Things have been very quiet. I stayed home, I go out, but nothing new or interesting has really happened. I don't hear a lot from Twyla anymore.
Oof.
I want to message her sometimes, but I'm afraid she's mad at me. Or something like that. I haven't been a lot of help to her when I try. Well, I just mess it up all, I guess.
Aww.
Maybe it'd be better if she didn't ask for my help. It's not like I know how any of this works. Maybe she should have just interviewed me and had been done with it. Then she wouldn't have to get frustrated with me all the time.
Well, most of the times that do lead to a frustration. I don't think it's, like, really any of your guys' fault. Yeah. I really like Mary. I wasn't sure what character I would like, but I really like Mary.
Crovin's gone out today, even with all this rain. I guess he really just hates staying home. I mean, maybe I'd be out too if I had somewhere to go. As much as I love the cemetery, walking around it in muddy shoes is less than ideal. I can handle it for a little while, but not as long as I'd like to stay. There's the library and all too, but I still have books here. And it's not really worth getting soaking wet for. The cemetery. I keep thinking of that dream I had there. I had to just have been imagining it, right? There's no way that was really Ed's ghost. Unless it was? It's almost like the book I read. It talked about how ghosts were on a different plane. Is that the kind of plane it was talking about? But if so, how come more people don't see ghosts in their dreams? Could it be because, like, she slept on his grave, maybe? Maybe they do, but they just don't realize it? If I'm seeing ghosts in my dreams, does that mean... No, let's not assume that. I mean, we shouldn't 100% trust the guy on the phone, but, like... I think we can trust that the parents are alright, but also sometimes I'm too naive, too. But let's hope the parents are alright. If I'm seeing ghosts in my dreams, does that mean my dreams with Mom and Dad mean... I wasn't able to consider the possibility much longer before my phone buzzed with a text message. It was Twyla! Hey. Hi. It's been a while. Is everything okay? No. Oh? Oh, why not? Because we haven't found fucking shit, that's why. Well, she seemed as usual. Stutters! Yeah. Have you been able to find that antifreeze? No. Even looking online, I couldn't find anything similar. I'm beginning to wonder if it's even antifreeze at all, after all. How do you mean? I know that we think it is. And even if my analysis showed it was the same, I don't know. Something isn't adding up. Do you have any idea of who it might be, at least? I do, actually. But I still don't have enough evidence to go off and prove that it is him. Him? I think she suspects Reginald. Reginald Tetra. Wait, really? I know you said he was a suspect earlier, but... I don't know. He always seemed pretty nice whenever I talked to him. Of course he does. If you were a killer, would you act If you were a killer, would you act outwardly suspicious? He's probably only nice so that you don't suspect him of doing anything wrong. Still, what gives you the idea that it's him? You remember how I said I worked in the library for a while? I do. You told us this. Well, I remember he would always try to hide or cover the books he was reading. As if he never wanted anyone to know. But once I was able to catch sight of one of the books before, he put it back on the shelves. It was about poisons. I didn't think too much of it at the time. It was... Ah! Oh, thank God. I need to learn how to read through those things so I know what to do. Wait, what's on here? Okay. It was a while ago before all this all started. But it stuck out to me, especially considering he was always so secretive about what he read. It seems very relevant now, doesn't it? You think that he's been referencing that book? That he's poisoning people? It's a high possibility. At the very least, it's the only lead I have right now. Which brings me to believe it's him. I never trusted that man. Well, if he's reading books about poison... Unless he's a writer, or frickin' working on a comic about poisons, then that is pretty sus. What if you're reading books about poisons to, you know, learn when you're about to be poisoned? Because don't they say cyanide smells like almonds? And thinking. That's it. And at least in video games I've seen it. Silver sometimes reacts to poison and it turns black. Still suspicious straight about poisons in a murder game. But, yeah. Just thinking of possibilities. I never trusted that man. The only thing is I have no other proof. And I don't think I can get closer to him without appearing suspicious myself. You bring up a good point. I guess he could be a suspect. But I'm still having a hard time believing it's him. But then again, you've known him longer than I have, I guess. Listen, Mary. I know a lot of people in this town. No one has ever struck me with more suspicion than Reginald Tetra. I think if we're going to set our sights on any suspect, it should be him. She seems so certain of it. But she's given me no real reason to suspect him. Other than the poison book, but that's also not that strong of evidence. Besides, he seems so friendly and sociable. He's been so nice to me every time I've met him. I don't want to think he would do something like that. Well then, Twy, if you're so certain it's him, why don't you contact the police? Well, if you don't have evidence, they're not gonna do shit. I'm sure if they look into it, they'll find something. I doubt. The police are a bunch of fucking idiots and full of scummy fucking people. We've been over this. Even if that wasn't the case, I don't want to be involved in any investigation of theirs. Twyla said a cat. Can't you send in an anonymous report or something? Do you really think any of these reports actually stay anonymous? Do you realize how easy it is to get information, Mary? Even just texting this over the phone with you makes me concerned. If anyone else sees these texts and knows what we're doing, it could be a lot of trouble. And that's why I want to get this over with as quick as possible. And the quickest way to do that is to decide on who's responsible and then out them. Just like that? Is she so certain it's him? She's willing to accuse him just on a whim? Well, I mean, we're gonna find our proof and then boom, then accuse him. If we can prove that Reginald has been purchasing large amounts of antifreeze, then at least maybe we will have a bit of evidence to go by. And you'll turn that into the authorities? Because, I mean, they'll have to get involved at one point, right? Eventually. Now that's for me to worry about. I just need a more clear indicator pointing towards him, and I'll be all set. It's just frustrating knowing the proof I'm looking for is so close, yet so out of reach. I think this is where we should come in. Mary looks nice and dainty. She could get close. Whoa, find out if he has a lot of antifreeze or not. Boom, evidence. Or, if he's not poisoning, boom, no evidence. He's off the suspect list. Whoa. Hey, this is gonna sound really weird, but I have an idea that might help actually. Really? Yeah. It's like, maybe... Okay, so, if you can... I want you to collect the list of everyone you think might have been killed by the butcher. I'm gonna say butcher, but... and bring it to the cemetery tomorrow. I don't know if it'll work, but... if it helps even a little, it's worth a shot, I think. Mary? What the ever-loving fuck are you talking about? It's hard to explain, but trust me. I think I can make it work. Whatever you're planning sounds stupid. But fine. I'll be there tomorrow morning, but I have a meeting in the afternoon. So it better be quick. I'm pretty sure it's gonna involve a lot of napping. So it might not be quick. Unless you're like, okay, you got like 5 minutes to talk with each of these guys. Go. And it better be helpful. If everything goes how I'm hoping it will, then it should be. You can't see it, but I'm sighing. Very well. See you tomorrow. Yes, you too. If this ghost thing is real, then I should be able to talk to one of them too, right? Ed's dream proved stuff in the real world for me, so maybe that'll be the same here. And since they were there, they can tell me exactly what happened. That proved it, right? Unless they also don't know how they died, like Ed did. It could also be a case of that. But who's to say, who's to say, who's to say? Stretch. Yeah. I'm not good at theories, thinking things, but it's fun too. Hey! Twyla met me by the cemetery like we agreed. She was tapping her foot impatiently in front of the gate. It took you long enough to get here. My bus runs on a schedule, I'm sorry. She had the list in hand like we agreed. Walking into the cemetery, we looked for the people that were on her list. People who died shortly around the time rumors of the killer came to be. After a bit of walking, we actually managed to find 2 of the people on the list, right next to each other.
Alright, so we found them. Now what?
Are you going to tell me what your idea was already? Oh, right. So, remember when you saw me and Reginald in the cemetery together?
Yeah?
Well, that's because he found me asleep on one of the graves.
Wow, just when I thought you couldn't try any harder to be off.
Huh?
Continue.
Oh, so when I was asleep, that's when I talked to Ed. That's how I knew about the antifreeze, remember? So maybe if I sleep under graves like I did Ed, maybe I'll talk to them too so they can tell me what happened.
Oh, for the love of...
Come on, at least let me try it. Even if it's just a weird premonition or something, maybe it'll offer us some insight.
You dragged me out here. For this? I'm trying to take this seriously, Mary. She is too! I don't have time for stupid fucking shit like this.
I am being serious. Please, at least give me a chance. Come on.
Fine. You have 30 minutes. So choose one of them. I'm waking you up when it's over.
Okay. Could she, just fall asleep like that? I can do that! Oh, I don't know who to choose. Twyla wants me to choose one person to talk to. I guess I could always talk to the other when she's gone, but I need the person I choose to be enough to convince her that I'm not playing around. There's a boy and a girl here. I don't actually know the circumstances of their death, so I guess I'll just go with my gut instinct. Click save. Click actual save. Let's say Libby. No, I will click. Return. The last ghost we talked to, I'm pretty sure was a boy, so we'll go girl. I sat on top of the grave and gently shut my eyes. It felt weird to be doing it on purpose this time, but I was prepared and made sure I woke up extra early today, so that I'd be able to fall asleep with no problem. It happened. Just like the last time, I woke up in an unfamiliar place. But getting a closer look, this place seemed more familiar than I thought. I recognized this place. I looked up at the building before me. Its flowy awning. What? Its flowy awning didn't wave in the wind like it usually does. But the glass door was propped open, as if inviting me in. I guess this was my destination. So if she just sleeps where someone's body is at least could an unexpectedly she fell asleep under an undiscovered body. Just buried under the ground. Thinking. I cautiously took a step inside. The restaurant was completely empty, and things seemed to be covered in a fine layer of dust. I heard about this place being closed temporarily, but the way it looked now made it look as if it had been abandoned for years. Ah, there's a girl here. She didn't seem to acknowledge me when I came in, but she was the only other person here. I approached her. Whoa! Pretty. She twirls her hair. As I got closer to the girl, I noticed her playing with her hair. And as she moved it away from her face, I could see the horrible rash that covered her. The dizzy way she was standing made it seem like she was so exhausted. What happened to her? Who's there? Oh, I'm sorry. I should have made myself more known. I'm gonna see if I can figure out how to pronounce that on Google. I should do that more often, but then no. Tap too fast. Merlot. Merlot.
Merlot. Because, like, now I remember the name Margot, and that also sometimes has a T at the end, Margot. But it's Margot. So Merlot.
You're Merlot, right? Merlot. Merlot Cloette. Did I scare you? Not at all. I could sense you coming. You smell like pretty flowers and old friends. Oh, thank you. Though I can't say I know you. I don't think that's quite true. Well, anyways, I'm really sorry. I don't have a lot of time here.
2 shoes? 2 shoes. Margot, 2 shoes. Huh?
I don't have a lot of time here. Can I ask you some questions about how you got here? Dun dun dun. Well, it's been a while since I've been here. Here, I see. What does that mean?
I feel like I'm giving her the same voice of Mary.
I only got here when you did. Haven't been to this place since that awful date. You had a bad date here? Well, my date was nice. My meal, not so much. I have an allergy, so... Ah, so that's how that, I don't know how to say this without... You got that rash on your face. Mm-hmm. I always break out like this when I have nuts. I guess the ants... I guess they accidentally put some in my food. I see. I'm really sorry. It's strange, though. What I ordered was never supposed to come with nuts of any kind.
Was Ed allergic to grapes, and then they put grape juice in his... I don't know if you spit out blood. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on how severe the allergy is. I don't think I'm allergic to anything as far as I'm aware. Like, is this a killer who tries to kill with allergies? But oh, yeah, that's probably because you spit up blood. I was gonna say, it also looks like she was stabbed, but now there's not really anything indicating a wound.
What I ordered was never supposed to come with nuts of any kind. And I used my EpiPen too. So I just don't know what went wrong. I thought I'd wake up in a hospital. But turns out it's not at all. I guess. I'm very sorry. Was there...
Maybe mixed with something they're allergic to and some type of antifreeze or some sort of poison. So like the first thing would be like, oh, they died from their allergies, when really there was also a poison there. But like you'd think you'd be able to find that also in like the food or stuff.
Was there anything else strange?
How so?
Did you see anybody suspicious?
Not that I can think. But now that you mention it,
Oh?
there was another unusual flavor. It was really bitter. I tried to wash it down with some of my wine, but it didn't help at all. It was even like, the more I drank, the more I tasted that awful flavor. So she was just like ended up poisoning herself even more, probably. Or yeah, that too. We're thinking murder. Mar got 2 shoes. That's what it was. Okay. Man, too many thinking. Bitter taste. I want to say I wish I knew more about poisons, but I don't know if I do. Alcohol, bitter. Okay, it doesn't mix with alcohol. Bitter, but there's also a chance that the alcohol could have been poisoned. The only thing that's like coming to mind is like the first case of like the Great Ace Attorney with like the whole drink thing, It's like, oh, if you got an injury and inside, it will kill you. But if you're like injury-free inside, you're good. Woo, wow, woo. But like, I don't know. I'm trying to think. But I stomached it anyways. I figured it was just a vegetable I wasn't used to. And it felt like it was burning, but maybe that was just the nuts.
Oh, I see. Thank you for telling me. Can I maybe look at your food before I go? See what was in it?
Sure, if you'd like. Not like I'll be eating it anymore. Tee.
I bent down and inspected the food that had been scattered across the floor. Just looked like some salads to me. Tossing over them, I noticed what could have been nuts, but I'm honestly not sure. I also looked over to her spilled wine glass. Did I dare taste it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But, okay. Would she die in this world if she tried it? Oh, no, wait.
It was kind of gross already being on the floor and all.
And the 5-second rule's already done.
I don't even like alcohol, but it burned. I guess this is time's up. I was awoken by Twyla, who roughly shook me awake. She was clearly running low on patience.
Okay, but that was some good info.
Well, did you find anything? Or did you just waste my time? Huh? Sorry, I'm still a little drowsy. We'll snap out of it.
Okay, I snapped. I wanted to snap right as I said that, but I used the wrong hand. They're not good at snapping with. Snapping is hard. I only just figured it out, like, last year.
We'll snap out of it. Tell me what you learned.
There was a girl there at a restaurant. The one that's been closed for a while. She had an allergic reaction to her food.
Is that all?
No, it wasn't just that. There was something in her food, too. I thought it was just red wine, but it burned as soon as I put it in my mouth. Do you think that's...
Oh, definitely. I knew for a fact it was.
You did?
I recently heard from an inside source that they found traces of something else in the girl's food after claiming she died of allergy.
Really? I heard there was some incident there, but I never heard that.
Of course you didn't. Because they don't want you to know.
Who doesn't?
I have to get going, Mary. But I have to say... I don't know how you did it, but this ability of yours seems like it'll be useful to me. I'll get back to you on this later.
Alright.
Nice, we impressed her.
Twyla left to go to her meeting, leaving me stranded there. I wasn't sure what I was gonna do for the rest of the day, but I'm glad I was finally able to be of use somehow. Actually felt pretty good leaving the cemetery. That is until I walked out the gates. Who? And saw him there waiting for me. Groven! Oh, I thought he had two hairs going out, but no, he just has one. He does feel like a crow. Croven?
And it's been so long.
What?
Mary, what the fuck was that?
Huh?
Who are you talking to in there?
Oh, that's Twyla. She's my friend, I think.
I know who Twyla is.
Oh, really? I didn't know you knew her. You two don't really seem like the type to hang out together, but...
This is who you've been hanging out with so much?
Huh. Oh, yeah, why?
Ooh, Twyla is a fucking madman. Stay away from her.
Huh?
I don't want to get into it, but that girl is the reason that the fucking devil hides in hell. Don't hang out with her anymore.
I mean, we're not really hanging out. We're actually trying to find out about...
I don't give a shit about what you're doing. I want you to stay the fuck away from her.
Wait, can you...
Well, you're clearly not listening to me.
Can you listen to her, please? I've got it attached to Mary and it's only been like 2 streams. But stop! Let her talk! Aren't we supposed to be friends? You don't even talk to me that often. You go places and that's perfectly fine, but like, you guys have had a rough patch. You need to like cool down. Maybe listen to each other. Like, haven't we always known each other? And yet you don't want to trust me on this? I know her better than you, Mars. So stay the fuck away from her. Or stay the fuck away from me.
Crovin angrily stormed off after that. I felt so conflicted. Crovin never used to get mad at me like that. I know Crovin doesn't like her for whatever reason. But I know Twyla isn't a bad person. But if that's referring to Crovin, I'm pretty sure he goes by he, him.
But yes, he does look cool.
She may do some devious things, but I know she's doing them for a good reason. She has to care about people. Putting her life on the line to try and stop a potential killer. She may not be the nicest in personality, but she's good in the heart, right? The rest of my day after that was uninteresting, but Crovin didn't talk to me for the rest of the night when I got home. Maybe that was for the best. Besides, I could always rely on someone else to talk to me at night. And then he stomped away.
I see. I'm sorry you were faced with that.
It's whatever, I guess. He's always in a bad mood, so I try not to talk about it too personally, or try not to take it too personally. Blah, 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 blah. Do not. I don't. Just wondering, but if you were in my shoes, do you think I should trust him on it?
I can't answer that for you. They're your friends, not mine. How do you feel towards them? I get that Crovin might be trying to protect, but the way... I wonder how things will go when I go for his route, because I think I want to go for his route next to see what we do. Will I hang out with his best buddy that he was kind of on a date with? Or what? Like, I'm wondering, like, Twyla, we're investigating the murders. Reginald, I don't know what we're going to do with Reginald. What are we going to do with Crovin? But I'm kind of hoping I can finish a route for today. At least get a good or bad ending. Or if somehow I'm lucky, which I don't think I am, I'll get a true ending. But if not, that'll probably be the last thing I'll try for after getting like all good endings and bad endings. But I want to believe in Twyla. She's mean, but like I don't think she mean. I feel like she's like rushing to find. Like I guess like yeah, there's like just a lot of frustration with not being able to like fully get all the pieces together. Yeah. I think I like Twyla. But I think Mary's my favorite so far because, like, I don't know. I like her.
Well, the girl I'm friends with, I'll admit that I don't think she's that nice. But she doesn't even seem to try to be. But the stuff she does is for a good cause. And she tries very hard to make everything okay for everyone. Even if my male friend doesn't like her. That doesn't mean I have to see the worst in her. And I'm sure in the end she thinks of me as a friend too. I'll cry if she says, like, I think we're good friends. That would be a touching line. Even though she doesn't express it the best. Bad ending, she tells you you're not her friend. I think that's very mature of you. I hope everything works out between you and your friends. Thanks, I think. Don't get too comfortable with that voice, though. Number. Ah. Good night, Mary. I had a pretty decent sleep, despite everything that was bugging me. Before I even got out of bed that day, my phone started buzzing with text messages. It was Twyla. Mary, are you there? I need you for something. If I'm thinking correctly, you'd be able to help me with this very well. I'm not sure what I should do. I'm going to help Twyla. Who cares what Crovin said? Didn't even listen to what we said. But Crovin was really mad yesterday to see me with her. If I don't help her, she might be missing out on evidence because of me. But if I go with her and Crovin finds us together again, it could result in him feeling even worse. Well, I'm so petty. Sometimes if a character like just feels at a character that I like, I just I don't want him to be upset with me again. Oops.
Self-voicing enabled.
Whoa.
I don't want him to be upset with me again.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Self-voicing
That's
disabled.
nice. That's nice. Damn. I didn't even know that was a thing. I accidentally clicked V instead of space. But I don't want Twyla to get upset with me either. What should I do? We're gonna go with Twyla because, like, freaking, I don't care what Crovin. I don't think I hate Crovin, but like, you should have let Mary talk a little at least. Freaking, no one likes to be talked over. I decided to respond to Twyla, telling her I could make it. Good. I assume you're going to tell me to meet you by the cemetery again, so I'll see you there at 12. Don't be late. We won't. I mean, you won't. Mary won't. Not wanting to be late, but not wanting Crovin to possibly ask where I was going, I quietly got changed and slipped out the front door. I nervously waited for the bus, hoping I wouldn't see him until later tonight. Please don't tell me we see him. Okay, I hopped off the bus and started to make my way towards the cemetery. I was really hungry. I probably should have picked up something back at the house, but... Let me check something quick. I guess I was too scared of possibly running into Crovin there, and having to explain where I was going in such a hurry. Twyla met me at our designated time and place, and I asked where we would be going today. The hardware store. The hardware... Again? The hardware store? Didn't we already check most of them? Yes, but someone I talked to actually provided me with some important information the other day. I've heard that our main suspect visits this specific one at least once every 2 weeks. So if that's true, it seems like today will be the day he shows up. So are we just going to wait there until he does? We might have to. But what if he doesn't? Are you doubting me? Well, no, but... Good. Let's go before we miss him. I headed back down to the hardware store with her. Though I wasn't sure what her plan was. Even if we do catch him buying something, is that really proof he's the culprit? We arrived at the hardware store. Except for the few employees here, it was pretty much empty. Oh, Twyla. On Twyla's instruction, we waited for Reginald to stop in. But as long as we waited here, we didn't see him. Maybe because he knows you guys are already there. We looked around the store several times, but still nothing. Though I lost Twyla a few times. So part of me wondered if she was just trying to keep me busy. But that doesn't make sense. Because if she really wanted to sneak around, then she wouldn't have invited me in the first place. So why did she invite me? I was considering asking Twyla if we should leave. I had Reginald's phone number. I had considered asking Twyla if I should text him, but that would be suspicious if I did, wouldn't it? Hey, are you going to the hardware store today? Why? Oh, no reason. How do I know? Haha, I don't. Yeah, that would probably be way too suspicious. I wouldn't want to ruin Twyla's plan or anything. Whatever it may be. I sat near the front of the store waiting for anybody to stop in. We were quiet as Twyla was busy texting somebody. I don't know who, but I guess it was important as she responded to them for a long time. And she kinda ignored me as she continued to text them. The sound of her fingers against the screen was rapid, so it had to be important somehow. So I just let her text, trying to think of something we could do until he got here. If he even got here. I considered getting up and making another round around the hardware store when... It's the guy! Sip.
Accidentally blew bubbles in my cup.
Huh? Out from one of the aisles, Reginald walked by, pushing a cart in front of him. But how? When? Did he get in through the back? We never saw him enter the store, or saw him the entire time we were walking around. Could he have been here? And we just missed him? But his cart had more than a few items in it, so... He had to have been here at least a while looking for it all, right? However it happened, we finally managed to spot him. And he spotted us as well. He gave us a smile and wave as he walked past to the checkout counter. He raised a finger to us and gestured as if to say just a minute, as all his stuff got packed into plastic bags. I turned to Twyla to gauge her reaction, but I couldn't read anything past her usual poker face. She was just staring intently at him, as if analyzing him. I wish I knew what she was thinking. Then she began to walk away from me. I didn't understand why, and I almost followed her until I noticed Reginald walking towards me wearing a smile on his face and bags in his hands. Hello, Mary. I didn't expect to see anyone else like you here. Out again with Twyla today. Oh, yeah. Well, we were just here, we're gonna build a birdhouse, because that's so cool. A few, actually. I thought it'd be nice for the birds and all. Birdhouse, really? You know the birds will be migrating soon? Well, yeah, but that just gives us time to build even more. We can paint them all cute, too. Well, you've got me there. In that case, I'm excited to see what you make. So what brings you here today? Me? Oh, nothing important. Just picking up some stuff I need for the apartment, that's all. Even with how much rent I pay, I still have to take care of everything myself. Oh, sorry, that sounds troublesome. Why are you apologizing? It isn't your fault. Well, yes, but still... Well, I ought to be going now, I suppose. My errands aren't going to take care of themselves. But say next time you need to come here, reach out to me, won't you? I'd love to tag along, and I think I'd be able to help you a bit too. I'll remember that.
He's looking through his items from afar, inspecting what goods did he get. Looked like a lot, but it looks like he's just taking one bag.
After that, Reginald left out the door, waving goodbye.
I'm gonna frickin' stop.
Pop-up keeps coming up. Twyla walked back over to me after having been watching from the sidelines the whole time. Twy? What was the point of that? You didn't even talk to him, and he walked right out the door.
Yeah, but did you see what he bought just now?
Oh no, should I have?
Within his purchases, I saw him buy antifreeze. Not with the kind of gallon we were looking for, but he did buy it. On top of that, he's bought rat poison, insecticide, and rope.
Well, that stuff doesn't inherently mean he's using it for anything bad. Are you going to report that, though?
No. You're going to pursue him. Before he gets far enough, I want you to go out there and ask to help him.
What? Isn't he our main suspect? Don't you think he's dangerous? And you want me to go with him?
For whatever bizarre reason, he seems to have a liking to you, right? So you can probably get a lot out of him.
Twyla, I don't know about this.
Why not? You're the one who... You're the one who said he's not inherently doing bad things anyways, right? So you should have no reason to be scared.
But you suspect him. And I feel uneasy about him because I don't know him enough.
Besides, I have to take care of something else anyway. But I'll have my phone on me the whole time. So hurry. Go out there and catch up to him. And text me any updates. If things start going really bad, you can just call for help. I should have known. Known what? You! I knew you're pulling one of those! Ah! I don't do it, but still. That you'd rather chicken out and let more people Don't put that on freaking! Don't put that on her, don't put that on her. And let more people die. Should I even be surprised, though? Of course you'd want that to happen. No! No! They fill up those precious cemeteries you love so much. Maybe that's why you keep hindering my progress. To add to your... That felt so... That's... I know she's mean, but that felt so mean! No! I ran out the door as fast as I could. Even though I didn't say anything. I think Twilight could tell I was going after Reginald like she wanted me to. To my surprise, he actually wasn't that far down the street. I was surprised to see him on the street at all, actually. I guess he was taking the bus like I do? Or maybe his car was just parked far. Whatever the reason, it worked out well for me as I was able to skip up to him pretty quick. Reginald, wait a moment.
Ah, I'm sorry. Is everything alright?
Well, you see, back there, Twyla mentioned to me, you were, buying rat poison?
Oh, yes. It's a bit embarrassing to admit. But my apartment has been having a bit of a rat problem lately. My landlord won't do anything about it, so it's up to me, I suppose. She doesn't even answer her door anymore. Can you believe that? So I guess I ought to take care of it before my neighbors start having rodent problems too.
Well, I don't think you should kill them. They probably just didn't have anywhere to go. It's not fair for them.
I'm sorry, but I really don't think there's much I can do at this point.
Well, I'm actually pretty good with animals. Especially small ones.
Is that so?
Yeah, so maybe I can come over and I'll try to help you with them so you won't have to kill them.
I don't know. I appreciate your concern, but... Are you sure that's something you'd want to do?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, alright. If it means that much to you. When would you like to come over?
Oh, I was thinking like right now.
Oh, that's so last minute. You're not even giving me time to straighten things out. I can't possibly have you over now. I just die of embarrassment. Or you might die of fright.
Please? The problem will be over sooner if you let me come now.
Well... Alright. You drive a hard bargain. My car is just around this corner, and the drive shouldn't be too long.
Oh, good. Hopefully I can help. At least a little bit.
I like Reginald. He just feels fun to read for. I'm also very suspicious of him. I like how a lot of characters in this look.
Like Reginald said, we got to his car around the corner. Once I was buckled inside, I messaged Twyla. I'm in his car. We're heading to his apartment. Perfect. Make sure to snoop around while you're there. I don't know. I said I was going to help with a rat problem. So, even more of an excuse to be snooping around. You have to look for that rat, right? I guess so. Text me when you get there. Make sure you talk to him on the ride over. If you spend all your time texting me, he may think you're up to something. Right. Oh.
Freaking, I don't think I could. I mean, ah, being in a car with someone not too familiar with, I don't think I'd be able to come up with anything to talk about. I'm literally like the most awkwardest person.
I put my phone down and took a deep breath. Everything about this felt uncomfortable. Going to Reginald's just to spy through his fangs? That's not right. But if he really is dangerous, maybe that makes it okay? But if he isn't, then... And if he is dangerous, then I have to be extra careful. I don't know what he could do. I mean, I don't know him that well. And here I am heading to his house. I'll just be on my toes.
So, have you worked with rodents before? Well, your cousin's kind of like a crow, but that's not really a rodent.
Oh, kinda. I know a lot of people are scared by them, but they don't bother me any. Reginald and I spoke as he drove.
Oh, I thought that was still a thing, not when I was not a had, but a has.
I actually had a pet tarantula when I was younger. I think it's not exactly the same, but it's an unconventional pet, I guess.
Fascinating. I've never been much of an animal person myself. But who knows? Maybe that would change if I got a pet. Unfortunately, my apartment doesn't allow them. A shame too. A cat would be the most handy in this situation.
I suppose, so I guess I'll be your cat stand-in.
Seems so. How do you plan to catch it, if I may ask?
Oh, I'll get a feel for your apartment first, then I'll see the best method to go about it.
Sounds reasonable to me.
Is she supposed to be cat?
But like, how her legs are, like, I don't... No, I'm trying to think. Does she have prosthetics, actually? Because, like, now that I'm thinking about her... At first I thought doll, but maybe... Because of the creators' other games I've seen, like, there's, like, a lot of, like, yeah, different, like, creatures and stuff like that. Like, just all treated normal. Like, characters have, like, horns or ears and stuff like that. Or who are scarecrows. You should check out Crow Scare. That's a good game, too.
But, yeah. Eventually, we made it to Reginald's apartment building. Most of the apartment buildings within the city are kind of cramped.
I think, like, I feel like I do have, like, a because I was looking at, like, reference for Mary's clothes. And the offer does have, like, a full body.
Yeah, just me thinking. Reginald's was not much different. Despite this, it didn't look half bad. The outside seemed pretty clean, and there was a parking lot right next to the building. It was convenient that he did not have to park on the street. Pulling up to it was a lot bigger. It was a lot bigger than I had anticipated. Wow, this place is huge.
Oh, please. It only looks big from the outside. It only looks nice from the outside, too.
Still, this seems like a nice enough place to live.
It works, I suppose. Though I think one day I'd like to have a house. I like my privacy and alone times.
Really? But you're so open and friendly.
Ha, you think so? I don't quite see things that way. 'Cause he's a murderer.
Maybe. We stepped inside Reginald's apartment, and already I could see what he meant when he said it looked nicer from the outside. It wasn't terribly dirty, but it definitely looked like there was some dust about. On top of that, it was incredibly plain. Dull of anything except doors and an elevator and a stairwell. Not even a decorative plant? To top it all off, there was a faint smell in the air that was just not good. I don't quite know how to describe it, but it was definitely unpleasant. I'm on the top floor. That sucks. Our elevator is broken. However, so I hope you don't mind taking the stairs. That's fine. I don't mind one bit. As we walked up the stairs, I texted Twyla to let her know I arrived, as well as his address, just in case she needed that information later. Reginald's apartment was on the 5th floor. It was a long walk up the stairs. And once you were at the top, it felt incredibly high up. I was looking out the windows in the narrow hallway as he fumbled with his keys to unlock the apartment door. It only occurred to me after the fact that I probably should have offered to hold his bags for him, but I was distracted. He got the door open though, and then welcomed me inside. Well, we're here. I hope you'll forgive me. I hope you'll forgive how messy things are right now. Messy? Reginald had nothing out except for his furniture. None of it seemed overly dusty or anything. Yeah. Cutting me off. Just then, Reginald got a phone call.
Terribly sorry, but I believe I have to take this. I'll just be a moment, but please do make yourself at home. Let's snoop!
Reginald excused himself into what seemed to be his bedroom.
I know people get normal, but it's normal for people to get phone calls. It's normal. It's not anything unusual, but I just keep thinking, I keep wondering, who are all these people? Who's Twyla texting? Who's calling Reginald? Is it the guy on the phone? The guy on the phone?
Yeah. Stretch. I took a quick glance at my surroundings to get a feel of things and where I should look for evidence, I guess. Reginald's apartment felt a bit smaller than what I had expected. He seemed very minimalist. I don't know how much he was allowed to change about his apartment, but even still, I don't know how much evidence I could find when it seemed like he hardly owned anything to begin with. I took out my phone to text Twyla. I hoped she would respond quickly before Reginald came back. I'm in this apartment now, but I'm not sure what to do. He left... He left to take a phone call. I know I should look for evidence, but I don't know where to look. I'll fucking look somewhere and try at least, instead of texting me. Even something small could be important. Okay then? I mean, she is right. I've gotta look somewhere.
Continuously text Twyla. No. We'll check. Well, we're in here, so I think we should, investigate the drawers. What do we find?
I opened the drawer at the table end that was sitting behind the couch. There's nothing really in here except some keys and spare change. I closed the drawer.
Investigate the kitchen cabinets, because we're near the kitchen.
I walked into the kitchen area and quietly started opening some of the cabinets. I couldn't find much in here. The only thing that could have potentially struck me as suspicious is the bottle of drainer cleaner. But it was kept right under the sink. That's not weird.
Until he has to cook. We're in the hallway, I think.
I peered out into the hallway using the peephole on the door. I don't know what I was looking for exactly. Faintly, I could hear the murmuring of people on the other side. It sounded like his neighbors were talking to someone out in the hall.
Let's go to the bathroom.
I opened the door to Reginald's bathroom. It was pretty tiny, cramped even for a one-bedroom apartment. I looked in some of the drawers. There was nothing that really struck me as being suspicious here.
I left the bathroom. What if he's like the type to have cameras in his apartment? I'm kind of on edge. Because he could either be like just a normal, regular, good guy, or he's gonna get us or something. Okay, let's check the bedroom. I quietly snuck over to Reginald's bedroom where he was talking on the phone. I felt bad listening to his conversation, but I couldn't really hear what he was saying. But he sounded frustrated. Not angry, just frustrated. I stepped away from the door. Well, we didn't see anything. Because we checked the drawers, Don't eat anything, Mary. I was having difficulty seeing anything suspicious. I was about to text Twyla and ask if she had any ideas of what I could do. But before I was able to text her, I was again hit with an unusual and unpleasant smell. No, it was stronger this time. It was definitely something in this apartment. I followed the scent to a door at the end of a hallway in the apartment. It led me to a room with an oddly placed wardrobe in it. The smell... I'm a little scared. The smell was coming from this. Twyla, there's some weird smell in the apartment. I think it's from a wardrobe in here. Is it locked? I don't know. I haven't tried to open it yet. Do I dare open it? What if there really is something in there? What if there's a body in there? What would I do? Would I just pretend I didn't see it? That's gonna be hard. Would I run out? Would he know? Mary, are you okay? Have you opened it yet? No. Well, what are you waiting for? You don't want to get caught by him. No other choice but to open the door. Maybe there's rats. Twyla was right. I didn't want to get caught. And knowing what was in there was important. Even if it wasn't something pretty. I reached the hand. He's gonna be right behind us. No. I reached the hand forward, but the wardrobe shook. The wardrobe just shook. Really? You better open it then. Again, she was right. I don't have a lot of time. And if it moved like this, something or someone had to be in here. I had to know. Or else I'm just letting another person. Don't let friggin' Twilight Swords get to you. I get investigation is serious. I get that we gotta investigate. We don't really have to, but like... But yeah. Oh, this is so scary. No, it's not scary. But like... This feels like the time where things are gonna go south. I was gonna end the stream 14 hours ago or when we arrived, but now like I'm too curious. So it'll probably be like another hour. Okay, really open the door. I reached my hand towards the handle. It wasn't locked. And inside, they make here a blood warning or something. What are the warnings again? Quickly writes it down. Blood, violence, murder. Rats! 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 Okay. Rats! That's kind of cute. Okay. Rats! Rats. Okay. It was a nest of rats. They're so cute. Okay. Okay, I'm so glad there wasn't like... Like, they're so cute. I hope one day, eventually, in the future, I will be able to have pet rats. At least 2. A French teacher that I had rats, and an old soccer coach too. They both had 2 rats, and they were very cute. And they liked long hair, and I didn't have long hair. But I think the rat liked me. And rats are just so cute. Wild ones are kind of scary, because, you know, rats can get rabies? I don't know. Probably. Most likely. But, like, diseases and other things. But, like, someone's pet rat. A nice little rat. Oh, man. Rats are cute. but rats. Look at them. Whoa.
Just like Reginald said, he had been having a problem. Just like Reginald said, he had been having a problem with. It looked as though the mama had become a mama not too long ago. I guess that explains the smell and the shaking. I felt bad having doubted him now.
Oh, the rat just... Why'd you close it? Hey. I'm gonna scare the rats and the babies.
It seemed as if I woke up the rats.
Oh.
Mom looked like it was going to attack me, but Reginald was there, and he held the door shut in time.
I did jump, because at first I thought that was Reginald. Forget. I was gonna go take a sip. Good thing I didn't.
Reginald, I'm so sorry. I can explain. I was looking for the...
No, it's quite alright. I'm looking for the rat by yourself, right? But it was irresponsible of me to let you... It was irresponsible of me to let you do that on your own. If that rat's infected with something and bit you, then... Oh, I would just feel so awful.
Hey, it's okay. I'm fine, see? I shouldn't have been looking for your stuff like that. That was really awful of me. I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize. You know, I realized why I thought Crovin had 2 tufts of hair sticking out. It's because I mistaked him for Reginald's hair. Reginald's the one with like 2 tufts. They kind of look like horns from this side. Or like, not horns, antlers. He tall. I'm the one who's sorry, letting you come over when my apartment is in such a state. I'm sorry, but it's probably better if you leave now.
Hi. That's understandable. I'm very sorry.
Though I feel like that's like a cover-up to make us think, oh, he's not so suspicious, and then boom, jumping, oh.
I apologized to Reginald a few more times before I left for good, but he assured me each time that he was the sorry one. He looked really embarrassed. I felt so bad. He asked if I wanted a ride home, but I told him that it was okay. I'd just take the bus. He was also kind enough to reassure me that he would look for a rat specialist or something to pick them up, rather than use the poison. Because he knew how much it bothered me. He was sweet. As I hopped on the bus home, I checked my phone. Mary, are you okay? Did you find anything? Sorry I didn't respond earlier. I opened the wardrobe, but there was just rats in there after all. Damn it. That doesn't help our case at all. Actually, there was something a bit unusual I spotted while I was in there. They were on top of some papers. What was it? You said that he brought rope earlier, right? Yeah. Why? Well, when I opened the closet, I noticed that there was some already in there. Is that so? What do you think he needs it for? Twyla? She didn't respond. Hey, are you there?
It's late. I wasn't sure you were still going to message tonight.
I just had a busy day.
Understandable. As did I. I wanna know what's going on! I wanna know everything! Now another thing. A lot of ideas that feel like they're based on nothing, but like, say la vie, say la vie! Twyla seems like someone you can easily get frustrated at, and frickin' just hanging out Reginald's phone call. I don't know, like, if they would have each other's phone number. I don't know. What if they were, like, contacting each other? But I don't know. I'm trying to think of how Twyla thinks. I'm like, yeah. Trying to find the murderer. Would she really be messaging him? But also, she's, like, a pushy person. Like, she does try, like, to go through things. So she might, but I'm also not certain. Or she seems like a pushy person. As did I. For some reason, I have a feeling our days were busy in different ways. That's probably true.
You must be tired then. After such a busy day. I wonder if we'll find out who's on the phone by the end of this. I guess so. Well, I won't keep you up longer than I have to. As long as you're safe, that's all that matters. Hoping to see you soon. Good night, Mary. I'll say good night. Thank you. It's been a few days. I haven't heard a lot from Twyla. I guess that's expected. Ooh, shopping. She doesn't really update me on her situation. But I guess that's alright. She seems to have everything under control, I guess. She only really calls me up when she needs me for things. Other times we just happen to run into each other. But I'm okay with that. Really, I am. This is a really big thing after all. And it is kind of her thing more than it is mine. Like, I'm kind of just a sidekick in all of this. I know it's really important not to just her, so I try not to add more stress on her shoulders. Even if I know I get on her nerves sometimes. I wish these weren't so expensive. I always want to buy more graphic t-shirts, but yeah. Even though, like, some books are around the same price of, like, shirts I want to buy, but, like, books are more easier for me to convince myself to buy. #1 products. Like, even when it comes to buying merch, it's like, ooh, I really want more pins on my board. Doesn't buy more. But when there's, like, a book out, it's, like, it's so much more easier for me to impulse buy books than it is for me to impulse buy anything else. Freaking, like, last year, maybe around January, I think. Freaking impulse bought 2 Zines, because I like to look through art books and stuff like that, and they were both worth it. Wait, yeah, they were both worth it. I was trying to think, wait, did they both arrive? But yeah, they did. I need to buy more shirts. I wish these weren't so expensive. I mean, I know I'm not poor, but with these prices I will be. Was that my phone? It is! Is it Twyla? Hell yeah. It was a text from Twyla. Does she need me for something? It's a good thing I'm already out, if that's the case. Hey Mary. You there? Thanks for your help a few days ago. It actually helped me a lot. I'm very appreciative. You did a terrific job. You really think so? I'm so happy to hear that. Even if I don't see how I really helped that much. You did mention rope. I have a question for you, although it's kind of last minute. Let me fix my headphones because they're getting too tight on my head. Do you want to come over for dinner tonight? Whoa, really? I'm sure, I guess so, but why do you ask? It is kind of sudden after all. Yeah, I know. It's kind of like a family dimmer. It's kind of like a family dinner thing. Stretch, 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 stretch. Yeah. Feeling a little stiff. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. It's kind of like a family dinner thing. I wasn't going to invite you. But then my uncle suggested I do so. Since you've been helping me out so much, he thought it would be the polite thing to do. And he's right. That's why I'm inviting you now. You don't have to say yes, but again, it was just the polite thing to do. Well, yeah, I can come. It sounds really nice. Thanks for inviting me. So you're coming then? Alright. I can have my driver pick you up. Send me your address and I'll forward to him. You can expect him at around 6-ish. Oh, that won't be necessary. I'm just gonna be at the cemetery again. Really? Yeah? It's just easiest. Whatever. Just make sure you're ready. Hell yeah. When the time came to be, I was waiting at the cemetery like I said I would be. I recognized the car and license plate from the last time we drove together and got in. The chauffeur was the same too. He didn't say a word to me, and I didn't say a word to him. It was a very quiet drive as we made our way to Twyla's home. Home. I keep mixing up the two words. They're the same thing, but still. Silence. Woo! And there's 2 other cars. Upon arriving there, it had already turned dark. I noticed that the fountain in front of her house had been lit up. It cast a very elegant glow all around. I also noticed there was quite a few cars in her driveway, parking area? I don't know how to describe it. It was large and made of bricks, and there were lots of cars there. That made me kind of nervous. I know she said it was a family dinner, but this seemed like a lot of people. Would I really be okay being here? It already seemed like I didn't belong. I got out of the car and it drove off as soon as I closed the door behind me. I guess I had no option to turn back now. I climbed up the stairs and upon making it to the top, rang the doorbell. Without even being inside, I could hear all the commotion going on within. Without even hearing her come to the door, she opened it suddenly. And quite honestly, I didn't expect to see her dressed like that. Whoa! American. Oh, you've made it after all. I was beginning to think you canceled on me. Was there a lot of traffic? Or was my driver late getting you? No, but, you're dressed a lot more fancy than I anticipated. Here, come inside. I don't want to let bugs in by keeping the door open. What a look. I really like shiny shirts, but they make me too itchy. I like looking at them, but not wearing them. Because, yeah, at least the ones I've worn are very irritate my skin a lot. But, whoa! Does Twyla wear glasses? Now I suddenly forgot. Yeah, she wears glasses. Okay, but she's just not wearing any right now. Whoa. As I stepped inside, there were many people, all talking and chatting. Some had glasses of whatever it was, some had little plates with them. But all of them were dressed extremely formally. Like party formal. The type of stuff you wear to weddings or extravagant sweet 16s. Twyla! This is so embarrassing! Huh? You didn't tell me people were gonna be dressed like this. Or that there was going to be so many of them. I feel so embarrassed. Why didn't you tell me? I would have at least dressed up more. Oh, don't be dramatic. You're fine. You dress semi-formally all the time anyways. You have to go make sure dinner is running smoothly, but you can do what you want until then. Just as long as you're not snooping through my things or anything. Wait, I can't just stay with you? You're the only person I know here, Twy. No offense, but you'll just get in my way. You'll be fine, though. See you during dinner. No! This would be like the worst situation for me. Twyla left shortly after that, leaving me to wonder why I had agreed to come to this in the first place. When she said family dinner, I guess I imagined something much different. A quaint event with some extended family and a nice meal? This was definitely some sort of party she was throwing. I don't know how many of these people were actually family, but I think it was more than obvious that I wasn't. I felt like everyone was staring at me. It brought back bad memories of mine. Aw. I tried to find some place where I could sit and not bother anyone until dinner was ready. Eventually, I found the couch in her living room was surprisingly empty and took a seat. I tried to look as normal and small as possible. I already didn't feel welcomed here. I didn't want to take up more room than necessary. Aww. I tried to stay on my phone for the most part, but it felt rude to be doing so. Even though I wasn't talking to anyone anyways. It just felt inconsiderate to be on my phone. Putting it down didn't really help how I felt, though. Although I didn't join into any conversations, I did hear one that caught my attention. Don't give me that look, you know this place. The bookstore on 4th, run by the old guy. Oh, that one? Bookstore on 4th? That was the bookstore Twilight and I went to. What happened with that all anyways? Newspaper? You didn't just watch it on TV? No, I prefer to sit and read with some coffee. Anyways, like I was saying, they confirmed his death. Did the bookstore guy die too? They confirmed his death the other day. Really? Wasn't he brought to the hospital? Hell if I know. The article didn't say. All it said was that he was found with multiple stab wounds, bleeding out on the floor of his own store. I don't even think they found him until morning, but they estimated he died around closing times. I didn't hear about a hospital, but it seems he's dead now regardless. I felt heartbroken. How was the bookstore owner Twy made me distract? I didn't even hear of his death. How long ago was it? Did I miss it? Did they have a funeral already? He was so nice to me though. But his store was so empty. Was he all alone in the end? It's not your fault, Mary. Come on. Is this my fault? Does Steph follow me now? Who's going to be the next to die? Deep in my thought, I almost tuned out their conversation. But then I heard another thing that made me snap back into it. Is he even fucking here at all? I haven't seen him, but I wouldn't be surprised if he isn't. Not like he does anything anymore anyways. Denzin was always pathetic. Maybe now he's finally realizing that... Denzin? That's Twyla's uncle, right? You sure you want to be saying that so loud? What if he is here and hears you? Does it matter? Not like we'll get kicked out or anything. Heh, I guess that's true. I thought it was pretty cruel of them to be talking about him like that. Ugh. But I don't know him really, but I can't help but feel bad for him. They're talking so cruelly about him and in his own house. Oh my gosh, why do I struggle with saying house or home? I hope he wasn't here, and if he was, I hope he didn't hear anything. I can't imagine hearing someone talk about me like that in my own home. Well, actually... Oh, is dinner ready? People around me started to leave into the next room. The thought of having to sit at a dinner table with them made me feel nervous. I thought about just staying in here instead, but... In the end, I got up and followed them into the dining room. Upon entering, it felt very different than the rest of the house. Twyla's house was classy, but colorful. But this room was drenched in white. The only thing to offset it was the brown, long dinner table in the center. And what a long table it was! Felt like the kind you saw in movies. People began to sit. Hastily, I looked for Twyla. On one end of the table, I noticed that Denzin was here after all, and he took a seat. I had hoped those talking bad at him... Take a sip. I had hoped those talking bad about him weren't near. On On the other end, I caught sight of Twilight. Twyla beginning to pull her chair out. She saw me. I think she must have sensed how nervous I was because she gestured me over to her. Oh, thank goodness. I made my way over there as quickly but as politely as I could. I was planning to take the seat next to her, but another man got there before I did and sat down. So I just took the one next to him. I was still in talking distance of Twyla, so I was okay with it. People began to talk as, well, people do. And I started to tune out of their conversations again. That is, until I was brought into the conversation. Ooh. She's a bit freaky looking, ain't she? You get... No, are you... Come on! No! Stop! You get used to it. Oh, who? Me? Yeah, look at me for a sec. I can't look in those eyes too long. It'll freak me out. Oh, haha, yeah. I would get that a lot. You ever thought about auditioning for a horror movie? I bet they'd do something great with a face like that. Come on. She would fit in well to one. After all, she can talk to ghosts. Oh, is that so? Oh, yeah, kinda. I've only done it a few times, but... Yeah? Really? Show me then. Oh, I can't... Twyla, you should know why we can't show him! Or them. Ah! You should show him. I think it'd be a neat party trick. I would, but it only works when I'm sleeping, it seems like. Oh, sure it does. Stop! Come on, Twyla. I mean, come on. Twyla. Come on, Mary. Show them what you can do. By this point, the people sitting across from us seem pretty interested too. I don't know, I mean... I wouldn't trust just sleeping in this random home too. I don't trust Rich. I gotta send a message. Kinda quickly. Okay. Capybaras are animals. Come on, not even for me? A poor man with a late mother. Oh, shut up! You wouldn't even give him the chance to speak with her again? It's not that I don't want to, it's just... I've seen you do it before. Surely if you push yourself a little harder, you can do it right now. What are you planning, Twyla? Like, look... I thought... It isn't just sleeping that's the requirement. You gotta... I think we have to sleep on a grave. I wasn't sure what to do. Everyone was looking at me. I didn't want to embarrass Twyla or myself. If I pretend to do it, I'll just embarrass myself further. They'll just think I'm a fake. I don't know what to do, but I have to decide soon. You're not gonna pretend to do it. That's gonna result in too much shame and embarrassment. And also, we have to sleep on a grave! I'm sorry, I really can't. There's certain conditions I need to meet, and this isn't really a place I can do it. Mm-hmm. Sure. First it was the blue-haired guy, now this red-haired chick. Jeez, Twy. You sure seem to attract a lot of useless people, don't you? Perhaps I do. Is that why you're here, sitting next to me then? Youch, got me there. The people who were looking at me before now turned back to their earlier conversations. But they gave me a bit of a snicker before they did so. I could tell they probably thought I was just some crazy girl or something. I wish I could have been a ghost myself right then. Ooh. But we can't just talk to ghosts at random unless you know for certain someone was buried under your home, Twyla. Dinner was delicious, but it was hard to enjoy it while I was trying to swallow my embarrassment at the same time. At least I didn't have to talk anymore during it. After what felt like forever, the party finally ended, and I asked Twyla if she could call her driver for me again, or at the very least where the closest bus stop was. I had hoped I hadn't missed my bus back home. Twyla did so, but as I was about to leave, she told me, "Wait! You know why we can't! You know why we can't! Either way, it would have been an embarrassing situation for you. Because literally, if we lied, he would be able to tell. Probably. Because it's about his late dead mother. We can't do that. We couldn't. We couldn't. We couldn't. I'm fine that you're embarrassed. Don't embarrass me like that again. And she shut the door behind me. I felt like dying. At the very, very least, I was able to get home safe. We can't just... It's hard to lie. It's hard to lie. I can't lie for good. Hi again. You were late again. Another busy day? Yeah. I went to a friend's for dinner. How did that go? It could have been better. I felt like I embarrassed myself. It's something that happened to all of us. Frickin', why don't you just take everyone to a frickin' cemetery and then you'll see. Oh man. It's something that happens to all of us. I wish I could eat dinner with my parents again. One day soon. They are safe, right? Not just alive, but they're fed and warm? I believe so. What's that mean? Don't concern yourself with it. Oh, this again. Just as long as I can see them safe again. The day is approaching. And will I see that? When will I see you? You will. Good night, Mary. Twyla was just setting herself up for embarrassment. I'm just saying. It's been a few days since then. I think Twyla's been doing well in the investigation. At the very least, when I message her about it, she tells me it's fine. Since Twyla hasn't really been the one initiating our conversations, I've been trying to. But it's usually only a few short messages, and the conversations don't really go further than that. I'm sure she's just busy, though. And I know that if she needs me, she'll call me. So I just wait until she needs me. But I've talked enough about that already. I had a nice day by myself, actually. Sometimes it's nice to just return to the cemetery for a normal day after so much chaos. I made sure I put at least one flower on every grave today, though I haven't talked to any of them. I had considered doing it, but like others tell me, it's probably not a good idea to fall asleep in public places, especially if you're alone. Oh, and that. And for that reason, too. Especially if there's a killer on the loose. So I decided I wouldn't do that today. But that's not what happened, though. I truthfully didn't mean to fall asleep. I didn't. When I sat back against the mausoleum we have, after being outside and on my feet all day, well, I was just so tired. I didn't even realize I fell asleep. Until I woke up to the sound of rain. No ghost dreams. I was surprised to not have any strange dreams this time, but this was a big problem. Only the roof trim of the mausoleum was keeping me safe from the rain, and it was pouring. And worse even still, it was night. Oof. The only light I could see was from the street lamps at the outside of the cemetery. Oh dear. How could I have slept so long? Well, I couldn't stay hiding... I couldn't stay hiding under here all night. I took a big breath and ran across the cemetery to the street. Luckily, the gate wasn't locked. Again, I was surprised but thankful, as it meant I would not have to find some other way out. Once I was out on the sidewalk, I noticed the street lights were the only lights on. Everything else seemed closed. How late was it? I didn't want to pull my phone out in the rain to check, but by any means, I had most definitely missed the last bus back home. I wasn't sure what I was going to do, but I had to find shelter first. I ran through the rain, trying to find anything that was open. Oof, I hate that feeling. It wasn't long before I felt my shoes filling with water. I'd get a cold out here too long, and the rain showed no signs of letting up. But I knew there just had to be something, anything, open. And eventually I made it somewhere. It was the movie theater. Ooh. Thank goodness.
Whoa! Look at those movies. Foley and Dex. Non-specific holiday movie 4. Imogen, Queen of the Galaxy. Don't know what that says. Cashiers. If you're a customer, fuck you. Intriguing.
I rushed myself inside and took a seat beside the posters, waiting to dry off and taking my phone out. Just as I had suspected, it was pretty late. And knowing the usual times of this cinema, I could tell it wasn't going to be open much longer. What do I do? Even though I wasn't sure how he could help me right now, I had to at least try calling up Crovin.
Hopefully there's an umbrella at home then.
Why isn't he picking up?
Probably asleep.
Mary? Oh, you picked up. Thank goodness. I was starting to get worried. I'm having a bit of a problem right now. What is it? You see, I kinda fell asleep in the cemetery, and I only woke up a few minutes ago. And it's raining really bad right now, and I missed the bus, so... I don't know, I was hoping maybe you could help me out somehow. No can do, Mary Moo.
Oh, that's a cute nickname.
Didn't I tell you? Tell me what? Mary, I'm like not even home right now. I'm not even close. Huh? Where are you then? I'm like out of the fucking city right now, Mary. I've had plans with these friends. It doesn't matter. I swear I told you. Well, I don't remember. Look, bottom line is there's no way I can help you from here. What am I supposed to do then? Fuck, Mary, I don't know. I heard his frustrated sigh through the phone. I couldn't see it, but I could tell he was pinching the bridge of his nose. Where are you right now? I'm at the movie theater, but I think it closes soon. Alright, well, do you have anyone else you could call for? Maybe stay with them tonight. I mean, I guess so. Awesome, great, sounds good then. Look, Mars, I really gotta go, okay? Call up one of your other friends. I'm sure one of them will come get you. Alright then, good. Aww! I heard the click of Crovin hanging up the phone. Could you please let her say goodnight? Call up one of my other friends. Well, there's only 2 of those. Who should I go with? I don't...
I'm mad at Twyla. But, like... Reginald would probably let us, but, like...
I wonder.
I'll call Twyla. We'll see what happens. If she doesn't get shelter, I'm like... Usually I have not gone back to see what else ends up doing, but like I think she deserves to have shelter for the night.
I called up Twyla. I heard the phone ring a few times, and then she picked up. She sounded angry. Although she didn't sound like she was sleeping before I called her.
Mary, what are you calling me for? Don't you know what time it is?
Yeah, I know. That's kind of my problem. It's a long story, kinda, but I missed my bus home and I need a place to stay tonight. I was hoping maybe...
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Fine. But you owe me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much. I'm in a movie theater.
Let me guess. By the cemetery.
Yeah, how'd you know?
I'll be there soon.
Okay, thank you again.
Oh, she drives? I think that's the driver's seat.
Twyla came to pick me up herself this time. But by that I mean she was driving the car this time rather than having someone drive for her. She was fully dressed, but I couldn't tell if she changed out of pajamas just to pick me up. She seemed a bit annoyed picking me up, so I made sure to thank her again.
I wonder what we were gonna have to owe. Ghosts?
The drive to her house was silent, except for the rain. Luckily, there wasn't really anybody else on the roads tonight. And we got to her house safely.
Why do I always want to say the opposite of the word? It's not an opposite. It's when I see house, I want to say home. When I see home, I want to say house. Huh!
Stepping inside the house, it felt like... Stepping inside the house, it felt a lot more calm. Like the first time I visited. I definitely preferred this to the liveliness of the party a few days ago. Although I must admit, when there's hardly anyone here, it does feel empty. Twyla's home had less doors and more archways. And passing one, I noticed a TV on. Was her uncle in there? Is everyone up so late? I followed Twyla upstairs to her bedroom. It was my first time seeing it, and it was a bit different than I expected. A lot more cluttered than I thought it would be, I guess. Not overly cluttered, but Twyla never really struck me as the type to collect clutter, but you learn something new every day.
I'm gonna look back on what I just read because frickin' cluttered. Okay, it was more cluttered than she thought. I mistake something. Doesn't look too cluttered though.
Well, here's my room. You'll be sleeping here with me, but I actually have to head back out.
Really? In the sweater? Why?
It's a personal matter. I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, I see. Okay then.
You can borrow some of my pajamas in the dresser, and use the shower if you like, and eat from the kitchen, but again, I'm trusting you not to look through my things.
Oh yeah, of course, I'd never.
Good. I'll be back soon.
Are we gonna get the option to look through her things?
And then she left back downstairs again, leaving me here alone. I wasn't sure how long it'd be until she'd be back. I'd feel weird sleeping in her room without her here. What should I do?
I don't want to go to the living room. Take a shower. You were in the rain, and it was probably cold rain. And you don't want to get sick.
Maybe I shouldn't just yet. I don't want to take a shower until I'm ready to get changed. I'd feel weird walking around Twyla's house in her pajamas.
I see. Let's look at the books then.
Twyla said not to snoop for her things, but surely the stuff out in the open didn't count. She had a few books splayed out, so I decided to give them a look.
Ooh. St. Groove. Investigating the town that disappeared overnight. Like that one city in the Full Metal Alchemist that disappeared in one night. Love at First Death, a tragic true story. I haven't taken a break yet, but I'll take a break right now actually. So BRB. Love at First Death, a tragic true story. Trying to get a closer look. Are they being impaled? By Aria Singer. It wasn't the reading material I was used to seeing Twyla with, or even expect to see in her room at all. But it's interesting too. Maybe she's trying to branch out and try new things. I wish I could be more like that. Maybe I'll try to branch out more too. Well, let's go to the kitchen. I don't want to see the uncle. Yeah. I decided to look in her kitchen. She said I was allowed after all. I headed back downstairs and into the kitchen. Creepy. It was dark, but I wasn't sure where the light switch was. Was Twyla's dinner party prepared all in here? It seemed like a small kitchen compared to the amount of guests that were here for it. Was dinner really made here? Probably best not to question it. If I know anything, it's that Twyla works in mysterious ways. I wonder what she had in here, though. I've never really seen Twyla eat, aside from the dinner party a few days ago. Well, I guess there's only one way to find out. And what if we're dreaming and we see antifreeze? I opened Twyla's refrigerator, and to my surprise, there wasn't much at all.
Even with that giant party they had?
Well, I mean, if there wasn't much, maybe they used it all for the party or something. I mean, it was a party that was being planned, so usually you'd have more food that day, and it wouldn't be there anymore.
There were no leftovers, or did they eat them all already? Still, there was a lot of empty space. There was there was a bowl of cherries, some gallons and gallons of water, and the leftover pizza box? Huh. I checked the freezer too out of curiosity. There's 2 slabs of meat I couldn't quite recognize and a tub of vanilla ice cream. You could make vanilla ice cream with the cherry on top. Well, if anything, I don't think there's anything I wanted here.
No.
I closed the fridge and looked into the pantry, but again, there still wasn't a lot. There wasn't much else in here. I thought about heading back upstairs, but I could hear the living room TV playing from the next room, and it was playing a familiar voice. I know that game show.
Well, he looks like he's seen some days. He looks tired.
I entered the living room and made my way to the other side of the couch, from where Denson had been sitting. I didn't really say hello as I entered, kinda just plopped myself on the other side of the couch from where he was. He already knew I was here. Felt kinda awkward to be saying hello so late into my stay. This is Peril, right?
Yes.
I used to watch the show all the time with my dad. I was never really good at it, but Dad was. I think he could have won if he got on it.
That's so.
Yeah. Do you think you'd be good at it?
Could be. Not confident I'd come out on top, though.
Don't say that. I think you could win, probably. I mean, you have such a nice house. Surely you have to be a smart and hard worker to afford it. Sorry, was that rude?
You have a point, I suppose. But I don't exactly feel... But I don't exactly feel working hard equates to knowing the most popular doll line 9 years ago, or knowing how fast the horse is.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Our small talk pretty much ended there, and we continued to watch the show in silence, only piping up to guess an answer or two. It was a bit strange, but nice too in its own weird way, like a childhood sleepover. Eventually I heard Twyla come back home again. She walked right past us and straight upstairs. I heard her open the door to her room, stop, and then walk back downstairs. And she joined us in the living room. Are we gonna see her on the couch too? Oh. What are you watching? Peril. You like that show? No offense, but I didn't really take that as something someone like you would enjoy.
All right, and the next subject is Graveyard for 300.
I mean, hey, you should be good at this one. Oh, maybe.
A broken column-shaped headstone is used to represent what?
Well, which is it, Mary? Oh, I think that's...
Do I want to cheat? I want to cheat. I want to sound smart. she's the graveyard girl, not me. Cheater, pumpkin eater. A broken column indicates a life cut short. I see. I'm a cheater, but I'm cheating for Mary.
A broken column represents life that ended early. That's why it's broken. Because you weren't able to reach old age, like how the column was broken before it got to the top. At least that's what I've heard.
The contestant answering said something similar to what I said.
That is correct. Huh. Nice job. Oh, thanks, I think. Alright, let's head to bed now then. I don't want you sleeping in too long tomorrow morning. Oh, okay. Good morning. Good morning. It's not morning, it's night. Good night, Denzin.
Good night, girls.
I followed Twyla upstairs and into her room again. She handed me some of her spare pajamas. I took her up on the offer to use her shower and headed to the bathroom before I got changed. Her bathroom was really clean. Cleaner than mine, anyways. She didn't even have any toothbrushes or clutter on the sink. Maybe there was another bathroom they used more often. Taking showers in someone else's house is always weird. The shampoo had a really nice smell to it. Strangely enough, I don't recall smelling this on Twyla ever. Not that she smelled dirty or anything. Twyla always had a cleanliness to her, but this shampoo didn't seem to match hers. I got changed into Twyla's pajamas. They fit pretty comfortably, though I expected that, since we are two small girls. When I returned to Twy's room, the lights were already off, but she was clicking away on her laptop. I noticed on the floor she left a blanket and pillow for me. I didn't really want to just sleep on her rug, but I wasn't going to argue with her hospitality. I cuddled into it and tried to get comfortable.
That sounds rough.
What are you typing? Nothing. Are you messaging someone? No. Does it have to do with the investigation? That's none of your business.
Oh?
But I'm helping you, aren't I? Yes, and I appreciate it. But there's parts of it I need to do on my own.
Why does it have to be a secret?
Wouldn't I be able to help you more if I knew? No. Like I said, I appreciate your help, but I don't want you getting in the way.
But what if I knew something? Something that could help? Something that could point us in the right direction?
I already have my direction. I just need proof.
You're certain that Reginald really did it?
Who?
Reginald? The guy you told me to stay away from?
Yeah, I know who he is.
What do you mean, who? Wait.
I'm absolutely positive it was him.
How can you be so sure of that? I don't understand how you can be so decisive over it. Especially when you don't have any proof.
I'll get it. And you'll know why you shouldn't doubt me.
Alright then. Twyla, do you want to be a detective?
Huh?
Do you want to be a detective? Is that why you're doing this? And working so hard for it? Okay, a sudden thought crossed my mind. What if, think. What if, like, she's also getting, like, messages, like I said, earlier, too. But, like, what if it's, like, instead of saying they're coming for her, like, what if they're saying they're coming for her uncle? I don't know. Like, she seems like she'd probably want to be a detective, too, and she's, like, seems very serious in her investigation. But, like, I mean, it's a recent killer, so, like, it also makes sense to be worried and, like, oh, who's gonna be next? Or if it's, like, directly talking about, like, oh, I'm gonna get you next, and also she's scared of that, too. But, from what it seems like, yeah, the butcher is, like, targeting older people. Well, I don't know how old that one lady was with the flowers in her hair, who, like, probably poisoned by her own wine. But I don't know. Anyways,
I'm working so hard for it. Not necessarily. I just want my city to be clean.
Would you want to be a police officer or something then?
Oh god, no. Even if the police weren't morons, I still wouldn't want to be a part of them.
Are you like a vigilante then?
What's with all the stupid questions?
Sorry. What will we do after we catch him then?
What do you mean? We'll hand him over to the police.
So that's when the police step in.
Yeah, they're the ones who need to arrest him after all. We just need to take care of it until that point.
I see. And then?
And then what?
And then what about after that?
What do you mean? There's nothing after that. It'll be done.
That's it? There's nothing else you want to solve?
No. You say that as if it's common to chase down murderers. Well, no, I mean, I don't know. Our friendship is pretty much built on solving mysteries, so... What? No, are you gonna deny the friendship? No! We aren't friends. We're not? No. I mean, if you want to refer to me as being your friend, that's fine. But it's important you know I don't see you that way at all. I don't plan on talking with you No! And she's mean anyways. But, like, it still hurts! And Mary thought they were friends the entire time! I hurt for Mary, too! I don't plan on talking with you anymore once this is over. You don't? Like, maybe if I need you for something. But otherwise, there's no point in continuing this alliance. Maybe we'll show her the power of friendship. She's just like Twilight. What? You're not upset by that, right? I thought I made it pretty clear I was just being polite to you. No, I'm just... Aww. Really tired. I think I'll sleep now. Good night. She do look like an owl typing on that computer, though. Aww. I had a hard time sleeping after that. It didn't help that I was stuck on her floor either. I did eventually get to sleep. Aw, but I didn't feel any better about it in the morning. She's a night owl. When I woke up, Twyla was awake too. I don't know if she even slept. She seemed to be in the same position she was when I went to sleep. I guess she's something of a night owl. But she didn't say anything to me as I grabbed my own clothes and left to the bathroom to change. I left her pajamas by the sink and then headed back downstairs. I left without even saying good morning or stopping for breakfast. And I decided I'd walk my way to a bus stop or something. Mary. Even though Twyla doesn't Even though Twyla doesn't think of me as a friend, I'd like to still think of her as one. I'd like to, but she's not the nicest. So, like, understandable. It's been a few days since I slept over Twy's house. Again, I don't get many texts from her, but I've been trying not to let it get to me. I think I should have known deep down it was always going to be like this. But I mean, I guess I can't blame her. It's not all that bad, though. I've been keeping busy so I don't feel lonely. It's nearing evening now, and I'm getting ready to make dinner. Or, well, I was until I got a text from Twy. Mary, how soon can you meet me? We're going to catch the butcher today. Today? Like right now today? If that was true, then I couldn't keep her. I keep trying to find spots to stop, but I keep getting too invested. This was supposed to be less than 3 hours. And freaking, I want to know what's going on. I'm not ready to end. I couldn't keep her waiting. I told Twyla, it's either Twy or Twyla. No. I told Twyla I would meet her at the cemetery as I rushed out of the house. The bus to the city couldn't come quickly enough. Luckily, I was able to meet up with Twy within the hour. I had been waiting on the sidewalk outside the cemetery when she pulled up in the car next to me. Surprisingly, she was the one driving it this time, instead of having somebody else drive it for her. I jumped into the passenger side, not even questioning anything until I got inside. Where are we going, actually? She didn't answer me. She seemed very intent on driving. I think her hands gripped the wheel. I think if her hands gripped the wheel any harder, it would snap. The setting sun welcomed us as we finally pulled up to Reginald's apartment building. What are we gonna do? Twyla? She parked the car, got out, and then yanked me out as well. The grip she had on her steering wheel was now tight around my wrist as she hurriedly stomped us up to the door. I nearly tripped over my own 2 feet before I was able to catch her rhythm. Twyla? I called out, but she didn't seem to be listening. Twyla, Twy! What is this about? What did you do? Without turning to face me, she said, Remember how you told me it smelled bad when you visited Reginald's apartment last?
Yeah, but it was the rats, remember? Twyla didn't say anything after that. After we entered the building, Twyla took me up to the door in the front. The door was creaked open slightly with a faint green glow leaking through. The smell from last time lingered, but it was even stronger now. It seemed to permeate throughout the hallway. It was somehow faint and yet terribly strong at the same time.
This is the apartment of the landlady,
Twyla said flatly.
Go ahead, take a look inside.
I have a feeling this might be murder stuff, so be careful. Or maybe it's sludge. Why?
Do it.
I didn't want to, already fearing what would be behind the door, but it looked as though I wasn't being given a choice. Feeling heaviness in my chest and legs, I made my way over to the door. I tried not to touch it as I leaned my head forward and peeked inside. My headphones are twisted. And regretted what I saw. Okay, not too graphic, but she's dead. I felt my heart sink even deeper into my chest as my throat struggled not to go dry.
Are you telling me that smell from before was... Absolutely.
I felt sick. It was Reginald's own apartment and this landlady. But I still had trouble believing it was really him. Until...
As if this evidence against him wasn't damning enough.
I turned to Twyla as she pulled a pair of gloves out and put them on. She moved past me and opened the door, talking to me as she did so.
When you went inside Reginald's apartment that day, I had gone around and talked to whatever neighbors of his happened to be home. They said the smell had been around for days. They filed complaint after complaint, but never got a response. They figured their landlady was too lazy to call someone to take care of it. That didn't sound right to me. So I had a special friend.
I wonder who your friend is. Is it that blue-haired guy they mentioned or something? Because that's like, yeah. And it was like, oh, another one of your useless friends or whatever.
So I had a special friend of mine come to help determine what was really going on. And we found this.
Has she been sitting here the whole time, Twy? Why didn't you call someone? And who's this friend of yours? And what's happening?
Well, I had to make sure I was right first. They helped me determine the cause of death was due to food tamper. Food again. With traces of the same antifreeze-like substance from before. And if that wasn't enough...
Twyla bent over and picked something off the ground. Rope? Here!
What do you think of this? I have to say I'm surprised. He made it hard to get concrete evidence for him. And then just... What? And just what? And then just what? Got ahead of himself? Let himself slip. I suppose I shouldn't be complaining. Makes my life easier. I just find it curious, that's all.
You know, okay. I'm starting to suspect Twyla in here right now. And like, maybe she's not the butcher. But of the people who died, they're all people we met just at then. And that feels like too... And like, if the butcher had been like careful all those times, I think he would still try to be really careful. But I mean, yeah, killers slip and stuff like that. I get that does happen. But like this, what if she planted it? Cause like, she's, I don't know if she's like good at being sneaky, but like, and I'm thinking very back to like the beginning with the bookstore thing, and like, it's like, oh, I won't be banned for too long, and now I'm thinking, is that what she meant? And we stole his knife! That, oh my god! I forgot about the cool knife we took. Huh. I'm scared, just a little. And I'm just remembering the whole thing about copycat murders And am I gonna get a bad ending?
I couldn't believe it. All the evidence was right in front of me, but still Reginald had always been so nice. Could he really have... I was alone with this man at times. He found me sleeping in the cemetery by myself once. But he never hurt me. Even when given the opportunity to, Could it really? All this time? My head swirled with thoughts and emotions as Twyla exited through the door to meet me in the hallway once again. Okay. Okay! We have very strong evidence against him. Now what? Do we finally go to someone else with it now?
I'm just thinking. Man! Freaking line after line, I just get too invested. This better, like, lead to an ending quick. Like, if not, then, like, I definitely have to end it before the 4 hours. I definitely do, because freaking... Yeah.
Twyla opened her mouth to talk to me, but I watched as her gaze moved past and behind me. Her mouth hung open a few times longer as her eyes reacted, and I already knew what that meant.
He was there?
I can't
I suddenly feel like I can't suspect him anymore, because, like... Like, however suspicious I felt of him, like, I just...
Yeah. I just don't think he is.
Like, suddenly... I don't know. Like, maybe he is, maybe, like, I'm just, like, doubting.
I turned around to be greeted by none other than Reginald himself. He was carrying grocery bags on his arms and wore a smile on his face as if nothing was wrong. Something was definitely wrong.
Hello, girls. Didn't expect to see you here this late. Or rather, at all, for that matter. How do you do? Why are you staring at me like that? Is something the matter?
Stop playing dumb.
Beg your pardon?
We know it's you. Twy!
Who is what? Me?
You've heard the rumors, haven't you? About a serial killer in town. We know it's you.
Me? Oh, Twyla, darling, that's not very funny to joke about.
Are you fucking serious right now? I told you to stop playing dumb.
Why? Do tell me, Twyla. If I really was the killer, what would stop me from killing you right now then?
This.
Ah! Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Please don't shoot. Save. Oh, that's where the autosaves went. Oh. Automatic saves. Oh. Page 1 is filled. I'll go page 2 now, just in case. Haha. Yeah.
Reginald and I both took a step back in shock as Twyla pulled out a gun she had been concealing.
What was going on here? Why was she carrying that? Where was she carrying that? Does your skirt have pockets?
Let me explain to you how this is going to go down. We're not going to call the police.
We're not?
Nope. Reginald is going to turn himself in. If he refuses, then I'm going to shoot him right here and now.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
I ran past Twy and put myself in front of Reginald. I don't know what I was thinking. And I truly felt that when I realized I was right in front of her line of fire. God forbid she slip. But I couldn't have her shoot Reginald out of nowhere. Twyla, wait. Can't we talk about this for a minute? You're getting way too ahead of yourself here. What if he didn't do it after all? Oops. Oh, that's a screenshot? I keep clicking. Why do I have my fingers on as though I'm gonna be moving around? Which is hard, any other RPG game. I just gotta click space and make choices and read and try not to get shot. What if he didn't do it after all? What if this is just a whole misunderstanding? Oh, I thought it said fired. Twilight just stared at me, gun still firm in her hand. I know that if she wanted to shoot Reginald, she'd have to go through me first, but... with the way she's looking at me right now, it felt as if she wouldn't mind having to. Please, Twi, put the gun away. Maybe if we just... No! Mary Duck! Huh? And then everything was dark. I can only guess Reginald hit me with something. I suppose that's what I get for standing in front of him. I could tell it was a while before I opened my eyes. And when I did, I could feel for a few seconds was that terrible ringing pain in my head. Now... I don't know what to trust anymore. I was jumping to conclusions, thinking, and then the gun part, like, the hair thing made me, but the gun thing, no. I thought she was just gonna go for a kill, but no. She seemed on trying to want to get him to turn himself in, and now is Twi dead? I don't know what to feel. I'm trying to think, trying to process. I'm trying to. We're tied up. It took a bit of time to adjust to the light, but I was eventually able to see, even if it was just a bit. I was in some sort of laundromat, it appeared. It was old and run down, so I don't even know how we got in. I was tied down to some sort of post with rope, preventing me from moving my arms. And in front of me was Reginald himself. He was turned away from me, so he didn't recognize I was awake yet. But I could see him breathing heavily, like he was nervous. And I faintly could hear him rambling to himself. I couldn't make out his words, though, despite how quiet everything was except for him. Eventually he began pacing, and that's when he noticed I was awake. I'm scared. I'm scared.
Oh, good morning, doll. How are you feeling? I didn't hit you too hard, did I?
Reginald? It's really... I felt my words get caught in my mouth. What could I possibly say in a situation like this? Reginald approached me. I felt my stomach twist with each step he took towards me, and I felt my breath shorten as he leaned down in front of me. He placed a hand on my face, and I had no choice but to look at him. Reginald?
Please don't be scared. I'm not going to hurt you, I promise.
Is it really you?
Do you think I would hurt you, Mary?
Please, I want to know. Did you kill all those people?
Would you be upset with me if I did?
I mean, I think I would.
You look nervous. Please stop worrying. I promise it's all going to be okay. I mean, you've been so happy, right? All those funerals.
She likes going to the cemetery. She doesn't like people dying. Like, freaking. She just wants to pay her respect. She doesn't want. What the fuck?
You've been able to enjoy them, haven't you? The way you complete them. Wait. The way you complete them. It's all been to make you happy. Haven't you been happy?
Reginald? What are you talking about? Eventually, Reginald stood back up again. He took a deep breath and straightened out his coat.
You know, this wasn't my plan. But you can't always plan for everything, you know. So I'll go and make it work, okay? Stay right here and don't go anywhere.
I'm scared for Twyla now, 'cause she's not here. She was in front of us. Did she not end up shooting at all? Jeez. I feel kind of bad for doubting her, but... I have a feeling she's dead, but I hope she's okay. She should have shot. Never mind, she should have shot. I'm sorry for doubting you. I mean, I still think some of those things are suspicious, but like...
Stay right here and don't go anywhere. I promise I'll be right back.
And just like he said, he left, leaving me stranded here waiting for his return. What was I going to do? I really messed up now, huh? Twyla was right all along. Is she okay? I hope I didn't mess it up for her again. Twyla had a gun though, so hopefully she's okay. If only I hadn't been so stupid, then maybe I wouldn't be in this situation. Right. Right as I was beginning to fear all hope was lost, I felt a buzz against my back. My phone? That was definitely my phone. I'm surprised he didn't take it away. Although not like I could reach it from my position. But maybe... I started shifting all around, trying to get the rope loose. I doubt I would be able to, but I tried regardless. At the very least, if I could get to my phone or something, maybe I had hope. I just hope Reginald hadn't come back before then. And then out of nowhere, it seemed like the rope just fell off. I was confused. Did he not tie it that tight? I guess he did say he didn't want to hurt me. My heart feels so uneasy. With the rope off, I rushed towards the front entrance. I pulled hard on the handles. Locked. Even though I could have sworn Reginald left this way. I tried all the back doors and side doors too, but it was no use. I was just trapped in a bigger cage. But I did have my phone. So trying to calm my nerves, I sat back by the post and took it out. I was about to call the police when I saw my phone full of messages from Twyla. They were still going. It seemed she was okay after all.
Hopefully, that's her. I thought she was gonna open the door and he'd be there. Am I gonna be able to stop before this? This game's so good. It's got me too invested.
Twyla? Oh fuck, you're finally answering. I've been trying to get a hold of you forever. I see he didn't get you yet. Twy, I'm gonna call the police. Don't. Not yet. I need you to trust me, okay? Really fucking trust me this time. As uneasy as it made me feel, I trusted Twyla. Even if she does things in an underhanded way at times. She's always had the best intentions. When I didn't trust her, things usually didn't go well for us. So I'm going to trust her now. Because even if she doesn't want to be, that's what friends do. Where are you right now? Honestly, I don't know. You're in a laundry room.
Which is probably somewhere in the building, I'd think.
A laundromat?
That's what it is.
What? Describe it to me. I don't know. There's like laundry machines and all. It looks like it hasn't been used in ages. There's no signs or anything. Can you see outside? Describe what's surrounding the building you're in.
Okay. I kind of assumed we were in the basement of the freaking apartment. Like, if somehow he just managed to drag us off there. But, like, probably not then. Ooh, what's this? Good old Janetto is drawing me a pig Sona. And it looks so cute! Gonna take a sip.
I gave Twyla descriptions of everything nearby, even though there didn't seem to be much. Despite this, it seemed as though all of it made perfect sense to her. I know where you are now. I'm going to be there soon. But all the doors are locked. How are you going to get in? I have a plan for that, don't worry. Just sit where you are and keep pretending to be kidnapped.
Okay. Time to pretend to be kidnapped. Oh no. I've been kidnapped.
Eventually he came back, just like he said he would.
Oh, good. You're still here. I mean, of course you are. I hope I didn't leave you bored, darling. Darling. Like I said, I just had something to take care of first. But as I said, everything is going to work itself out, okay?
Reginald once again took a step toward me. I had no idea what he was going to do. He reached his hand towards me and... Whoa! Nice! Hole in one! Twyla burst in just in time. She immediately shot Reginald in the leg. Regardless if he was the killer or not, he still tied me up and kidnapped, so that leg deserves some sort of pain, dude. Like, what the yuck? And also, I think you were killing because of what you said about the graveyard. She immediately shot Reginald in the leg. It took her one perfect shot. One hit and he was down. It was so easy for her.
Shoot both of them. Shoot both legs so he doesn't... What if he goes for you, buddy?
Reginald fell into the ground without a scream. He was huffing heavily, blood oozing from his leg as Twyla came to untie me.
Oops. I keep accidentally taking screenshots now.
What do you think of my rope work, Reginald? I had to make sure you didn't suspect anything, so I tied her back up best I could. I'll admit, I'm a bit rustier than you, though.
Wait, what? Tab? Why'd I click tab? What?
Reginald didn't say anything, of course.
Police!
Huh. About time they showed up. You actually got the police this time. Yeah. I didn't want to, but it seemed like this was going to be the quickest way to take care of it all. I'm gonna go outside and talk to You stay in here with Reginald really quickly while I explain things. Wait, what? Why can't I go out there with you? Trust me.
Oh, okay.
Also here.
Now I mean, once again, my suspicion is going back to Twyla all of a sudden.
Twyla walked over to me and gave me... Wait, I can't use this!
I don't like this situation now. I don't like how anything feels right now. I don't know what to trust anymore. I don't know what my gut feeling is telling me.
You probably won't need to. It's just in case he tries anything in 2 minutes. In the 2 minutes I'm out there.
Okay.
I accepted as she passed the gun into my hands. It felt cold and uncomfortable, but I held it tight as Twyla exited the door.
What if she was trying to set up her own, like, murder story or something? And then we end up getting killed by freaking cops. I don't like this. I feel uneasy, and I hope my uneasy feeling is does not get confirmed, because I don't want anything bad to happen to Mary. I don't want anything bad to happen.
I looked down at Reginald, who was still writhing a bit on the floor. He didn't say anything until...
Mary.
Oh no. Reginald slowly tried to get up, though his leg was obviously holding him down. Stop moving. I'll shoot. I will.
Mary, darling. It's okay. I said I wasn't gonna hurt you, didn't I? I just want to share something with you. I just really want you to know.
I watched as Reginald stood up on his own 2 feet. My feet felt frozen in place with the gun, while the gun shook in my trembling hands. Where was Twyla already? Reginald shuffled towards me. He reached his hand out to calm mine, and I was held there by him, as he told me something I'm not sure I'll ever forget, or even understand.
You know, I know you adore the idea of death and whatnot. At least that's how it appears to me. So I just wanted to let you know. Death is not at all what you've been made to believe it is. I promise you. It is not an eternity of dreams or nightmares. It is not comforting. It is not warm. So please, 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 Mary, do me a favor. What? And stop killing me, okay? What?
Lost in his words, I found myself unable to react as he wrapped his hands around mine, took the gun from my trembling fingertips. No! And pressed the barrel into his temple.
Yo! What?
That makes me so. I was gonna go things in like a certain order. I was gonna go, okay, I'll go Twyla, then Crovin, then Reginald. But I'm kind of tempted to go straight into Reginald right now. But I think I'll try to keep my order just to keep that suspense in the back of my head. But like, what? So does that imply that maybe like at the end of the other routes, do we end up killing Reginald or something? I don't know. I'm trying to think.
It's been a month since that day. My therapist says I'm getting better at dealing with the memories from it. Things have been much different ever since the incident. For one, there seems to be much fewer deaths around the city. So I guess that means I don't like to think about it much. But I am at least happy that things are much calmer now. I don't think I noticed it before, but I do see a lot more people walking around than before. And maybe that's because the weather has been uncharacteristically nice lately, too. Oh, right! Speaking of things that have been different lately, the number that used to text me stopped around that time, too. Aww. And I still don't have a clue about where my parents are. Thinking about it too much makes me worry, but my therapist has been helping me feel a lot calmer about it all. Aw. It was true what Twyla said to me that night, that she didn't really intend to talk to me anymore after we caught the killer. Because she doesn't really. She never messages me anymore. Occasionally I'll message her first. Less than half the time will I get an answer back. And even when I do, it's usually only because I asked her a question about something I was curious about. But it actually doesn't bother me all that much. Not as much as I thought it would. Because sometimes I'll see her outside, in the library or at the park. And every time she notices me too, and although she never says anything, aww, she waves at me, and I appreciate it. I do! Twyla was never much of a people person, I know that. Friendships don't ever seem like something of importance to her. So in that sense, getting away from her is more than okay with me. Speaking of Twyla, I was actually headed down to the library to return some books after my session. And maybe pick up something more. When I see Twyla in the library, I try to sit near her. And for me at least, I always have a pleasant time reading with her. So, I'll see if she wants to come today too. Oh, that's kind of sweet. But also,
What do you mean, stop killing me? Reginald, what did that mean? Congratulations! You've just completed a route of Cemetery Mary. Thank you for playing, but do you think you can get the true ending if you try again? Okay, but like, I'm just gonna quickly check which one was it that I would, where I have to like, was it this one? I think that's just to go throughout the days. Okay. Yeah. That might have been the one where I had to make the big choice. No, not auto. Wow! But yeah. Wow! That's all I can say. Those last couple seconds with Tyler, I was like, whoa, she's so cool. But whoa. Reginald killed himself. But I do wonder how to get the true ending. I hope like there'll be things online soon for how to find out, because I'm kind of dense at times, so I'm probably not gonna be able to find it right away. I wonder how the bad ending is, but I'll find out after I finish the other 2 routes. Oh my gosh, though, that was so good. That was so fun to read. Cemetery Mary, good game, highly recommend. Free on Steam. And the creators' other games are also on itch.io. Arcade Kitten. Okay, now I'm even more hyped for Wednesday because freaking damn. I'm like just so much at a loss for words trying to think. I like this game. I like this game a lot. I'm not the best at trying to think of theories and stuff like that, but like that was very fun. Very fun. Very much enjoyed that. Sometimes I was on edge because sometimes I wasn't exactly sure what was going to lead to what. But yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to process things, but like I think this is where I'll end it. I can't really let me check. Yeah. Damn. Thinking. Okay, but no one I'm too familiar with is streaming right now. So I think that'll be it. But yeah. See y'all on Wednesday when we talk to Croven. Get to know the cousin. Does that mean we're gonna go somewhere out of town? Because he was out. But this isn't the time to be thinking. I can just think after stream. I'm very, very excited to like. I'm just very excited because that was really good. I'm very excited for Wednesday now, and streamed a lot longer than I thought. But anyways, I hope you all have a good day, good night, good afternoon, adios, and bye bye. It's the same thing.